it stops, no one knows. We're going head into the unknown. Na, 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 na.
I'm muted and you can't hear me. I'll blame Sleuthy, since I was going to blame her for running a couple minutes late, but then she had to go and say it wasn't her fault. So it's Sleuthy's fault that I'm muted. Hi, everybody. I know, it's so stupid. I must have hit the wrong thing when I went to hit the camera thing. Welcome back to Criminality. If this is your first time here, welcome to Criminality. So happy Monday, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. This has already started off just fantastic, so I can imagine that we're going to spend the evening just having all kinds of fun together. Oh, no, it's not you, Gabby. It was totally me. It's totally me. It's been too long. It's a sign. What's up, Legal Lacey? Hi, Joanna. Hi, Dina. Hi, Princess Buttercup. Oh, Sleuthy. It's all your fault. It's all your fault. See, if Sleuthy was here, then I probably would have been on time. Hi, Chansey. Hello, Spring. What's up, Susie Q? Hi, Mel. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Did you finish Night Agent Season 2? Hi, Hillary. Let me see who else is up here. Indiana Girl. Hey, Ramblin'. What's up, BGOG? Hey, Post Punk. Hi, Tammy. Dr. Vonda, I don't know if you came back yet or not, but I did ask if you were going to end up attending the trial. Hi, Blind Hog. Let's see. Dragonfly. Another very sad case. Yeah. Where's your Dr. Pepper? Right here. Cheers. All right, everybody. So I don't want to stick on my absence for too long, but I'll let you know. I'm ready to start till the after party in Cali. It was a good season. So my mom had surgery last week. Finally. And then so she's been recuperating, and hopefully all it will go well. They said it'll be about 4 weeks before she will feel completely back to normal. So she had her gallbladder removed. If you guys remember, she's been really sick since she had back surgery, and they were giving her the runaround about removing the thing, and it was just like stupid insurance stuff. And finally, she got it removed. So I was kind of just spending some time with her. And then I was actually going to be doing this live yesterday. And Saturday night, my pup, he's not really a puppy anymore. He's 12 and a half. My puppy Zane is very, very sick. And so I stayed up with him all Saturday night and took him to the vet yesterday morning and spent about 6 hours there, really honestly thinking I was going to be putting him down. And the doctor said that they had some things they wanted to try first and that they thought they could fix him. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. He's still not great. He's definitely not like back to normal, but he's older, so I don't want to put him through a bunch of stuff that he doesn't necessarily. He's right under my desk right now, so that's why I keep looking down there, seeing how he's doing. So I was honestly exhausted. I was still gonna try to like troop through this last night, and I just was like a zombie from not sleeping all Saturday night because he was just crying all night, and then I was crying because he was crying. And if you guys know anything about me, animals are like, my kids. My kids are still more important, but they're very damn close. So, yeah, vets are super expensive. So that was another issue I was having yesterday with telling like the doc, like, hey, like I've got to make choices here. I can't just, just go all willy nilly and just be like, yeah, do whatever you can. Like if I was rich, I'd be like, fuck yeah, just do whatever you want to do and fix him. But that's not realistic. So, yeah, so I just decided last night, I was like, I'm fucking wiped. I barely got the kids' laundry started for school, and I was just like, I can't do it. I'm done. Especially because this case and what I put together for us to go through, I have a ton of stuff to go through with you guys, a ton of press conferences, a ton of court appearances, a ton of information. So I was like, I can't, like, I just can't do it half-ass. I have to get some sleep before I can do it. Yeah, see, pet insurance, they don't cover the things that you necessarily need them to cover. They cover a lot of vaccines and stuff, at least the ones around here. Maybe I need to look into it again. It's been a few years since I did, but anyway, it's just, I don't know how this is going to end up, but Doc said she wants to give him the week and give him all these medications and fluids and stuff, and then we'll see what happens. So if I have to pause to take care of him, I'll just let you know. Yeah, I gotta find the right one, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, on to happier. Well, this isn't, I don't know, it's not happier because fucking this sucks too. This is a terrible case. I don't know what the hell I'm thinking. But on to happier times to be able to spend time with you guys, because once again, my personal life takes precedence, you know. That's just how it goes. I don't know what to tell you. I wish I could just be here every day and just do this, but I can't. I really wish I could, but I can't. Some days I can, but yeah, from worst to worst. So this is a case that I'm not sure all of you are quite familiar with. Also, you may actually know it and not remember it because it's actually an older case. It's not like super old. It's not like a cold case or anything, but it's this little girl, and I'm going to show you guys. I'll bring it up so you can see it. What I said is the only thing I know about this case, so I'm excited to see what you all put together. I put a lot of shit together. So even though I'm not live, I just want you guys to know I have been working on 2 different documentaries. I have been putting this kind of stuff together. So, I mean, I'm still trying to do stuff for the channel. I have an entire Flora presentation thing to go through with you guys. I have the Delphi documentary that's going to take forever to do, but I've been doing chunks of it. So, I mean, like, I'm constantly doing stuff for the channel. Yeah, Ariel, we're live. Hey, Rachel. Hey, True Grit Crime. Hey, Christine. But you know, sometimes I just can't actually take the time to sit here and go live for as long as I'd like to. So just know, like, I'm still doing stuff. And you'll be seeing some of that stuff tonight. So this case, actually, this little girl, Evelyn Boswell, was reported missing on February 18th of 2020. We're going to go through all the timeline of things, but I'll tell you right now, she hadn't actually been seen since 2019. Since December of 2019 was the last sighting of her, but she was not reported missing until February 18th of 2020. So it's been a long time for the fact that, you know, she gets arrested, and then, you know, everybody knows that what happened in 2020 and COVID hit and everything went crazy. And then, and we'll discuss it further down the road too. And then she was actually supposed to go to trial in 2022, and she had some issues with her attorney and ended up getting a new attorney. So they just say they moved it. They moved the trial to 2025. So we are actually right on the cusp of this trial starting. Today was the first day of jury selection, and then we'll talk about that towards the end of the timeline. And they expect that it will be probably 2 to 3 days at least to pick a jury. So they're thinking that the trial will actually start on February 6th. And this trial will be streamed on Court TV. So they have cameras in the courtroom. So I'm not getting you guys invested in a case that you can't actually watch. You'll be able to actually see what's happening inside the courtroom. It is a tough case. So if you have like triggers about children's cases and things like that, obviously, you know, there's, you know, no hard feelings if there's cases that you can't handle, because there's cases I can't handle. And so, you know, I get it. And she's a cutie pie. She's just a little cutie pie. And her mom is, I'm sure everybody here, all my true crime friends, are very familiar with the Casey Anthony case. And this is very similar to that case. And I think the trial is going to be somewhat similar as well. So we currently So this is another thing I'll let you know. So like it's a great point, Ramblin'. We currently don't have a ton of details about, we have some, but not a ton of details about what happened to Evelyn. Like I said, we have some, but we don't have a ton, not quite like Harmony. Like, my God. Like, but obviously we learned a lot of that at trial too. This, we don't have that yet, but we will have more, obviously more detail if you decide to watch the trial. So I mean, it's still tough. It's a very tough situation. So just know that. Yeah, little Kaylee Anthony, who I named my daughter after. So, hey, Case by Case, what's up, Serendipity? This is in the state of Tennessee. So jury selection started today, and they say it's going to be 2 to 3 days. So we should start actual testimony, opening statements come probably Thursday. So it is a central time zone. So, and Court TV is going to be in the courtroom. And I'm sure there'll be plenty of channels streaming it. I'd like to stream it. My problem is going to be, once again, Thursday I have appointments, and so if they do start Thursday, I'd miss the first day. So we'll kind of play it by ear. We'll see how it goes. Near where Summer Wells lived. You know what? Let me see how far that is. I didn't actually check that. I didn't check how close it is. 02. 2 Rogers. That's about an hour. Looks like it's about an hour away. Rogersville. This is in Blunt. I'm not even sure I say it correctly. Bluntville, Tennessee. I can make commentary all the time, but I can stay in the live so you don't disconnect. That might be cool. We might be able to do that. So she is a little cutie. Yeah, Blantville. It is. So Dr. Vonda actually said she lives very close. Dr. Vonda, did you happen to answer? Are you going to? Ariel said, "Who's Casey Anthony?" You funny girl. They called 1,000 jurors picked from. I didn't get called. Thank goodness. And then you can attend the trial. Boyfriend runs shack across from community college where hubby is. Oh, okay. Did you say if you're going to end up going? Hey, Mavhawk. Hi, Ellie. I was a part of several until they found her. The cemetery where her BFF mom met her before they found Evelyn is beside my house. Jeez. Oh, yeah, you're like right in the backyard of this whole thing. I listened to Gisela yesterday on this, but I am still confused about this cow's mom. Like, what? I did not listen to Gisela on this, but I'm sure she did a great job. She normally does. Okay, so like I said, we've got a lot to go over. So this is Maggie Boswell. This is her biological mother. Megan was 16 years old when she got pregnant with Evelyn. And so, teen mom, people have looked at these photos and scrutinized the crap out of them. I don't know if you know, I don't think I can actually zoom in on this, but I can share the photos too. But a lot of the times Evelyn had, bumps, bruises. In this photo right here, I don't know if you can see, but she actually has a bruise right here on her forehead. I mean, it's tough. She's a toddler, so, toddlers do fall down. But when you have a toddler who ends up deceased at the end of the story, everything ends up being, hindsight's 2020. What were they actually doing to this baby? So she's raising the baby with the help of her mom, her dad, who are divorced at the time. I'll get to them in just a second. No, I'm not making a Prezi on this case. I don't have that much info on it. I made a presentation, but it's in Canva. I can share it with you guys if you want it. But I don't have enough to do a Prezi. See, Delphi was just a lot, so I kind of didn't have much of a choice. I think I have a Prezi started on Long Island serial killer. That's the other Prezi I have. Okay, post-punk mama. I won't tell anybody. So, teen mom. I'll get you into the family here in just a second. The family dynamics. So, Evelyn was reportedly last seen on December 26th of 2019, but she wasn't actually reported missing until February 18th of 2020. So she ends up reported missing because the family is asking her, like, where's Evelyn? Every time she shows up around them, it's like, hey, where's Evelyn? Is Evelyn here? Where is she? And she keeps giving all the family members like different stories. So one is that, oh, Evelyn is with the baby daddy. So baby daddy, which I'll tell you about him in just a second too. Baby daddy is actually stationed in the military in a different state and lives in the barracks. So he does not have the baby with him. Then it's, she's at the babysitter's. I have a friend of mine who's babysitting her. So you'll see her, next time I'm around or whatever. So all the excuses of, nope, I don't have her, she's with somebody else. And then eventually what happens is I get you a blank page. Hold, please. That's not actually supposed to be blank. Where did my picture go? There we go. She's like a Casey Jr. Yeah. Another Zanny the nanny. Absolutely. Okay, here we go. Now I had to just refresh it. Already guilty. So I want to tell you, like, Sleuthie, I'm the same. My issue here, and as we go through some of this stuff with the family, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see exactly why I'm saying, why I feel like this is so similar to Casey and Kaylee Anthony, because one, you have a very young toddler who's missing. Mom is telling people that she's somewhere else, and that's why she's not bringing her around, that she's got a babysitter, or that she's with the dad, or she's with whatever. Lying. The child isn't reported missing for almost 6 weeks instead of the 31 days with Kaylee. But the biggest thing is, I keep thinking, like, trial wise, like, a lot of people believe that Casey got off and was found not guilty, even though I'm a firm believer that woman is guilty, that she got off because of what she did with her, blaming her family. Well, now you have like George and Cindy Anthony, who were, Cindy's a little narcissistic, but upstanding citizens, they were, at least he was a retired cop. They had, somewhat of their shit together. Now we're talking about a family who doesn't necessarily have all their shit together. And I'm just really, once we go through like all the interviews and stuff, you're going to see what I mean. But just like, think about how she's going to turn, how the defense is going to turn and blame this on the family. That's what I foresee happening, that it's going to be somebody else's fault. She didn't do it. Well, it depends on who you talk to, but a lot of people say that they think that a lot of people believe that George did something and he was a part of it, especially after her interview. But that doesn't have anything to do with the trial. But after her interview, I had people messaging me like, "Did you watch that? Like, George is totally guilty." And I'm like, "Oh fuck, no, he's not." But anyway, that's beside the point. So as we get more into depth on the family history of things, you guys are going to understand what I'm saying, because I just feel like that's the direction that we're going to go, that she's going to go in this trial. See serendipity? George was the number one reason she agreed with the jury. Yeah, they think they did, but nothing like, they don't have arrest histories. They don't have, tons of drug charges. Just, an immense background of law issues. Okay, so obviously this is Evelyn May Boswell. You're going to hear a lot, if you do continue to follow the case after this, you're going to hear a lot that she was 15 months old. Well, problem is she would have been 15 months old when she was reported missing. But if she wasn't actually seen since December 6th or December 26th of 2019, then she was actually only 13 months old. So, but they consistently go with the 15 months. So, 15-month-old Evelyn May Boswell. But I guess we'll find out exactly how long they believe that Evelyn was deceased when they found her, which we don't have, like I said, we don't have all those answers. So once they, well, I'm jumping ahead of myself. I got to not do that. So they could all have something to do with it. I mean, you never know. So this is Tommy Boswell. This is Megan's father, Tommy Boswell Sr. Her brother is Tommy Boswell Jr., which we'll talk about him a little bit, but not too much. So this is Grandpa, Evelyn's grandpa, Megan's, she goes by Maggie too, but I call her Megan. Megan Boswell's father. This is Angela Boswell. This is Evelyn's grandmother and Megan Boswell's mother. Okay. They're divorced, and he owns basically like he just owns like a, I don't know what you'd call it, like almost like a compound. I'll show you the property here coming up too, but it's a big lot of land with a bunch of different houses and things on it where different family members lived, including his mother. So Evelyn's great grandmother. So they're divorced. They had 2 kids together, Tommy Boswell Jr. and Megan. And she's now dating, so Grandma Angela is now dating at the time William Boyd. So these 2 are in a relationship at that time. Okay. And then we have Megan. And then Ethan Perry is Evelyn's biological father, who was stationed in Louisiana at the time, was living in the barracks when she said that he actually had her, when she was trying to tell people, oh yeah, her biological dad's got her right now. And then this is Hunter Wood, or Preston Hunter Wood, but he typically goes by Hunter Wood. Now, this is Maggie's boyfriend at the time, or Megan's boyfriend at the time. See, now I said I'm going to call her Megan. I start calling her Maggie. So Hunter and Megan are boyfriend and girlfriend at the time. And I'm not going to spend too much time on him, but if you did decide to go down the rabbit hole, he's a huge player in the social media side of this case. Many, many, many people believe that he was involved, that he knew, that he had something to do with it. And I think there's probably still people out there that are like adamant that he had something to do with what's happening. And you're also going to hear that when she does finally, quote unquote, confess, what she confesses to, including him. So that's kind of your main players that we're going to talk about. So Grandpa, Grandma, which is her mom and dad, mom's boyfriend, and then the bio dad and her boyfriend. Okay. All right. We all here still? Okay. Gotcha. I wasn't looking at chat. So let me see. What a nice digression from other YouTube crap. Yeah. Yeah. I'm so sorry about saying. I hope he gets. Oh, thank you, Passion for Victims. I do too. Okay. Why is it doing that? It better not do this every slide or I'm going to lose it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is, again, Evelyn's grandfather, Tommy Boswell Sr. He's the one who contacted...
What do you guys think happened? Can you comment on?
Jesus. He's the one who contacted DCFS and said, hey, something's wrong. We haven't seen my granddaughter. And essentially, these family members say that they all kind of started talking to each other and figured out that she's lying. Like, there's always an excuse of where Evelyn is. And so finally he says, like, he contacts DCFS or I don't know what it is in Tennessee. I think it's DCFS, and reports his granddaughter missing.
What do you guys think happened? Can you comment on that?
I don't know what happened, but I'm the one called DCS and got this started.
And why did you call DCS?
Because my granddaughter, she never did come back, and I just don't know what happened to her.
When was the last time you had seen her?
Thanksgiving, up to his house. We all had Thanksgiving dinner.
So you hadn't seen her since Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving.
I know some reports say that it was like early December, so yours was a lot longer than that.
Yeah, it was Thanksgiving.
Had you been in communication with them at all? Like, I know you hadn't seen her, but what about talking?
No, I hadn't talked to her enough. I stayed busy, and I talked to my ex-wife, and I told her, I said, if Evelyn don't come home, I'm going to do something about it. And she said, you better not do that. You're going to regret this.
So Angela, the grandma, his ex-wife, says, don't you dare call anybody because you're gonna regret it. Hey, Snappy. Hi, Kaleido. Okay, so now remember, she's reported missing on February 18th. An Amber Alert is issued on February 19th of 2020. And on February 21st, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations reports that the investigators are seeking information about a gray BMW and that the individuals traveling in the BMW are connected to Evelyn. So they're just persons of interest at the time and want to find out like what's going on. So they put a picture, it's a stock car, but they put a picture out and then they put the license plate out and they're like, okay, anybody who sees this car, let us know. We will eventually find out why they're looking for this car based on the interviews that we're going to listen to. So as of right now, February 21st, we're looking for this gray car. Oh, goodness, Tish. That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. So I get it. I don't. There's some that don't bother me as much as other ones bother me. So it's kind of just go with what your gut tells you. Okay, so now we're going to go with an interview of Megan Boswell done by WCYB, and she's being interviewed at the police station during a couple of these interviews she does. So she's leaving the police station or entering the police station beyond, before or after these interviews. So just kind of be, cognizant of that too. Hey, Tennessee Junior, really hoping for more charges post-trial for Megan. Sketchy all around. This is just up the road from here and makes me sick to my stomach. I can, being that close to it, that's tough. It's like Dr. Vonda.
I just want to tell you.
And you guys can hear it. Just let me know if you can't hear it. You guys heard the other interview, so you should be able to hear this one too. Megan lied to everybody, I think. Megan's, I think, just a habitual liar. Hey, Jen, just now.
About like her favorite things and personality wise. I know.
Okay.
I just want to tell you about like her favorite things and personality wise. I know, like looking on TV and just kind of seeing a picture, it's a lot harder to, envision a baby. Like her favorite food is like sweet potatoes. She's really sweet. She loves to give people kisses. Favorite song is Baby Shark. Just like that kind of stuff.
Can you tell me what's her favorite toy?
She has a little Baby Shark puppet.
What would y'all do together?
Well, she loves to take baths. That was her favorite thing. And she had little shark toys that swim in the bath and stuff like that.
How old is she now?
She's 15 months today, actually.
Can you tell me a little bit? Like, so you said she's very sweet. Is she sweet with everybody, or just
she
you?
is? She loves everybody.
Can you tell me a little bit about like how you're feeling? Do you miss her? Are you worried?
Of course, I miss her, and I can't tell anything about the ongoing investigation, but I'm sure you all have released an article about the car and stuff like that, so they have a pretty good idea of who has her. I mean, if they're watching, I just want them to bring her back.
Is there anything you'd like to say to them if they're watching?
I just want her back. Yeah, that's my child.
I'm sorry. I know this must be hard. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about her? Do you have any pictures of her?
Okay, so to answer that question, does she know that Evelyn is actually deceased? Well, according to the state, yes. According to the public, yes. She's the one who did it. She's obviously not convicted in a court of law yet, but, this is one of those that I'm like, there's not a lot of question for me, but we'll see when the trial comes up if I sway at all. So yes, but she's pretending like she doesn't. As of right now, she's just reported her daughter missing. And she'll eventually say she knows who has her and she doesn't want harm to come to her. So she's just, she waited it out. Essentially, she was just waiting for them to bring her back because she didn't want these people who have her to hurt her. But the reality is, if you go with what the state's theory is, obviously, if she's the one who killed her, she definitely knows she's dead.
Her? Have you been looking
Not
at
on me, no.
Not on you? Have you been looking at photos and stuff of her while you're... How are you coping with all of this?
I just want her back.
If you could tell her anything now, what would you say to her?
I love her and I miss her, and that I'll be with her as soon as I can get to her any way I can.
Is there anything that you can tell us about, like, what kind of baby she is? I know you said that it's hard to see.
She's a happy baby. She hardly ever cries. She wants to wave and talk to everybody. She walks funny. She doesn't know how to pick her feet up, so she kind of wobbles.
Is she talkative?
She is.
What,
she giggles a lot. You'll smile at her, she'll just start giggling. She's very happy.
And so you said she is talkative. Is full sentences? Like, what milestones has she met? Like, is she a smart little girl?
She is. She hit every milestone early. She can almost say I love you. She's not fully got to sentences yet, but she does say a lot of words.
You must be so proud of her.
I am. When Baby Shark plays, she tries to like dance with them and sing it.
You said that's her favorite song. Do you do the puppet with her a lot? And I know all of this is very hard. Can you tell me, like, how you're feeling?
I just want her back. That's all I want.
Are you feeling worried or anything along those lines?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that at all?
Well, the reason I didn't report it or anything is because I knew the person who had her, and I didn't want them to run away with her. And as soon as they thought anything was going on, they just kind of vanished. So I'm just worried about, like where they're at, what they're doing with her at this point in time.
So you do know who has her? You do. Can you tell us who that is, or you don't?
I can't release anything further about that. I'm sure they will at the press conference, but further than that, I can't say anything.
And so you do know who has her. Are you worried about her safety?
Well, now I am, because they won't answer phone calls. They've just kind of disappeared.
What is it like to? I'm assuming that you trusted this person. How has this trust been broken? What's been going on with that?
It has definitely been broken after this.
Have you spoken to her father at all during this process? Are you having any support from
No.
or from your family?
Yeah, my grandma's very supportive. She always is.
That's good. But you haven't spoken to him at all.
Mm-mm.
When was the last time you saw her?
In December.
In December. Okay. And what was that last day like? Was it a good day? I think it was about around Christmas, right? Can you tell me about that?
It was a good day. She had a little pink bow in her hair and a little Puma tracksuit on. It was hot pink.
And
Okay, it's important to listen to what she's saying that she was wearing. So just for future reference, just make sure that you listen to that.
Like, I know that you're hoping that she'll be returning shortly. Is there anything that you'd like to say to the person or people that have her that you think they should hear from you?
They should just bring her back. They obviously know like what's going on, and they need to bring her back home.
And you said that you trusted this person. So when did you realize that trust might have been broken?
Well, when they just kind of took off and wouldn't answer anybody.
Around when was that?
Whenever this whole thing started.
Okay. All right. And can you tell me a little bit more about like how you're feeling? I know all of this is scary and everything.
It is. I just want her back. That's all I can think about. Is just get her back.
Is there anything the community can do to help you?
No. Other than look for her. I know they released the car information and the tag number and stuff like that. Just any leads at all, they need to like call so we can go check them out. Try to find her.
Has anyone have you gotten any information from the community that's been helpful, or you just kind of been?
I don't really know. They've all been looking at leads and stuff like that. I mean, they're working their butts off.
Has the police department and everything, the sheriff's office, been keeping you in the loop for this?
They
whole
have
process?
been.
How's that been going? Has that been good? Positive?
It is good.
Good. And I know that you said that you're getting a lot of support from your family. Are they like helping you going to courts and meetings and stuff with you? I know you've had a lot of.
Yeah, they didn't know I had court today, or I'm sure my grandma would have been there.
Did you keep it from them, or?
I mean, I've just not really talked to them that much today, to be honest. And like I said, stuff was going on like while we were sitting in the courtroom, and I couldn't. Well, not while, but like.
Okay, so because Grandpa called DCS, obviously Child Services gave her you have to, show us the child or we're going to have a problem. So she ends up she has to go to children's court to She's supposed to be producing her daughter, and she's saying, no, I can't, because I'm not the one who has her, but so and so has her, and that's why I can't show her to you. Sleuthy, I'll show that one too. We'll get to that one. So, but somebody said like Leilani Simon, and that's interesting too, because it has a lot of similarities to Leilani Simon. It does, except for the distance and time of like how long it took for them to even figure out that she was missing. They knew Quentin was missing off the bat, because Leilani was like, oh my gosh, somebody broke in and stole my baby.
Waiting to go to court, and like I just couldn't tell her exactly what was going on.
So you said like obviously you can't share anything about the case, so you haven't been sharing with like your family or anything either?
No.
How's that, not being able to confide in anyone?
Okay, sorry, I'm gonna pause it again because I want to answer this. This is actually really important, because there's Evelyn's law in Tennessee now, legal Lacey, just like Kaylee's law in Florida. So Evelyn's law is that it is now a crime to not report your child missing, because they could not charge her with that, because there was nothing to charge her with. So there is a law now that you have to report your child missing or you will be charged. And it's Evelyn's law.
The police officers are very nice, especially like Sergeant Matt Price and stuff like that. I can talk to him or like them, and they've been like really helpful this whole time. They really have been.
And anything else that you think that people should know about Evelyn, about like what makes her so special?
She's just a very sweet baby. She's got, the little dimples on her face.
Do you think she looks like you?
No, she definitely looks like her dad, but she does have my eyes.
That's good. You have very pretty eyes.
Thank you. She's the cutest baby ever. So you'll know it's her when you see her. She loves everybody. She tries to kiss everybody on the cheek. She tries to wave to everybody. She's very friendly. She's very friendly and sweet. So,
when hopefully you're reunited with her, what will be the first thing that you do?
Just hug her. I know it sounds weird, but like I miss how she smells and like her laugh and like everything. I just want to hold her.
So I know that this must be like you're missing your baby, and then there's been trust broken, right, as well. Are you worried about her safety?
I mean, in a way, yes, just because we can't find, the car or nothing like that. But they have exhausted almost every option, you know what I'm saying? They're working around the clock. They have a whole room of people up there like dedicated just finding her, and I appreciate that.
Do you think that they are going to find her?
I do. I have full confidence.
You do? Are you feeling hopeful?
I am.
Can you tell me about that? Like what keeps you going? What's giving you hope? And
the team up there is just honestly really good. They're all really good, and I can like confidently say that, like when I'm not up here, I know that they're doing their best to find her. I'm not worried that when I'm not up here, they're not like, just sitting around and twiddling their thumbs. I know that they are trying genuinely.
Right. Do you have any regrets about not involving police sooner? I know that.
Well, sort of, but also in a way, I knew that as soon as anything went down, the person was going to just disappear, and they have, and they've tried to find them. They are going to find them. And I know that they'll bring her back to me.
You feel fully confident then. That's good. But if you could do this all over again, is there anything you would do differently?
Yeah, I probably called the first day. I should have. But I just didn't want them to run with her like they have now.
Did you ever expect them to run with her?
I knew that if anything really happened and anybody got involved, they probably would.
Can you tell me why she was with them if you were worried about this?
They were watching her for me while I went to work.
Okay. So it was like a babysitting type childcare situation?
Yeah.
But you thought they might run with her?
No, until they took her, no. Then after that, I was like, well, if anything happens, I'm worried they will run with her.
Right,
And to be honest with you, I won't lie, I didn't know how good the team was up here. And if I did, I would have called the second that I realized. They are very good. Like I said, they are doing everything they can, and I'm very confident in that. And that makes the situation a lot easier.
And so you said that when did you realize that they had completely disappeared?
Like I said, I can't release anything like specific. I'm sure they will at the press conference, but
Um, so anything else you'd like to add? Anything that you want to tell me about Evelyn?
her favorite food is sweet potatoes. She's allergic to carrots.
She's allergic to carrots. What else does she like?
She loves those little applesauce pouches.
Yeah.
She's very smart. Like, even she quit her own sippy cup at 6 months old, or not a sippy cup, but she quit a bottle. I'm sorry, and went straight to a sippy cup. And like, I would leave her snacks on the floor, like in the little containers, and she'd open them up herself and like get one out at a time. Like, she's just a very smart, very good baby, and I just want her back.
You just must be so proud of her.
I am.
Is there anything that you would like to say to her?
That I love her and that I will find her. She'll be back as soon as humanly possible.
Anything else you think people should know?
No, not at this moment.
Okay, so at this point, people are like, okay, this interview is really freaking weird. But there's a lot of issues with this family. So does the family have her? Like, what's going on? Like, where is she actually at? So after she does an interview, she ends up actually deciding to start telling people that she's pregnant. So she's telling her friends that she's pregnant. They're asking her if the cops asked her to do a lie detector test. She says, I can't do a lie detector test because I'm pregnant and they won't allow one. I offered to do one and they said no. So she even tells WJHL that she's pregnant. And that's why she can't do a lie detector. So she's telling her friends, telling her family, like, I have nothing to do with it, but, you know, hey, I tried to get them to do a lie detector and they won't do it. Hi, TNT. We don't know 100%, but it's reported that she was physically last seen by somebody in the family December 26th. I think we're going to find out more. December 26, 2019. We'll find out more at trial. So essentially what happens, and I'm going to jump ahead just for a second so you guys know, and why we don't have a ton of info, is after they find Evelyn's remains and they do the autopsy and stuff, they end up sealing everything. I mean, like, almost everything gets sealed. So the public doesn't know very much about anything. And you're thinking, this happens back in 2020. So for years, we've only learned what we know essentially from the fact that they're streaming all of the court hearings. And so we're going to watch some of those too. We have to make a law demanding that you report a missing child, right? Right? So yeah, so she's telling everybody, okay, I'm pregnant, I'm pregnant, I'm pregnant. So just keep that in mind. She's saying that she's pregnant with her current boyfriend, Hunter's child. So that night on the 21st, they end up actually finding the BMW that they were looking for in Wilkes County, North Carolina. No Evelyn. Evelyn is not found with the car and the people that were in the car. This is grandma. I'm going to say grandma because it's Evelyn's grandma and grandma's boyfriend. So Angela Boswell, Megan's mom, and her boyfriend William McLeod are the ones that are connected to this vehicle that they were looking for. They both end up arrested and extradited back to Tennessee for stolen property. I don't know if it was ever actually proven, but a lot of people thought that the BMW was actually Hunter's, but come to find out it wasn't his, that he actually had like a silver SUV. But I don't know. I don't even know who it ended. I don't even remember who the car ended up belonging to. It just became like irrelevant in the story. Somebody in chat might actually know, but I don't know. It didn't really matter. So they end up finding these two, finding the car and arresting both of them for possession of stolen property and extraditing them back to Tennessee. Yes, serendipity. Yeah. Well, you read in depth about how they found her based on a testimony, I believe. Hey, Delana.
She's very sweet.
Okay, so this is one of the more famous interviews of Megan Boswell. They sealed it because they didn't want all the information about her death out there necessarily and everything to do with the investigation, because I think they were just essentially trying to make it so that other people, it was a big case. When this went down, it was a huge case on social media. The reason it lost obviously so much traction was because it got sealed and then it took years to ever go anywhere. So was it Hunter's mom's, Connie? Yeah, I don't remember what they ended up thinking about the car, but at first we all thought it was Hunter's, but maybe it was Hunter's mom's. Tiffany, I get it. Yeah, some of them are really hard. Hey, Queen, good to see you, honey. So this is the more famous one. This is the interview that Sleuthy was talking about earlier, where she's like, "This is the interview that I remember." So this one's more interesting. So remember, now her mom and her mom and her mom's boyfriend are arrested, and she's had told the cops when she's saying, "I know who has Evelyn. I know where they're at. I know that they took her." It was her mother and her mother's boyfriend that she was telling them. So the car they're looking for was the one that her mother and her mother's boyfriend were driving. Oh, Postpunk, thank you. Hunter's mom. It's somewhere in Hunter's family. I don't. Like I said, it kind of loses its luster in the scheme of the story, so it's not overly important. But don't be hating. Interesting. They know what they are doing when they seal things. Been doing it forever, so the cases just disappear. Right. They don't want the mainstream social media on there. Aries girl, hi. I wanted to go to opening statements so badly, but I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I can't miss. So they're still in jury selection, honey. They don't think that they're going to be ready for trial for opening statements until at least Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning. Janet, you're confused a little. Let me know. Tell me, did you already ask something? So Megan blamed her mom. Yes, she said that her mom and her mom's boyfriend took Evelyn. You're going to hear more about it right now, so it'll kind of clear up any confusion. You heard it was tomorrow. Everything I have seen today, they have not seated the jury. It's not tomorrow. I'm hearing late Wednesday, early Thursday. Who's coming to court with me then?
She loves everybody. She's never been mean ever, which I'm very thankful for. She's just a really good-hearted baby in general. Like textbook how you want a baby to be, like has hit every milestone early, you know what I mean? Well, when she was 6 months old, she actually put a bottle on her own. It went straight to a sippy cup. She started walking probably around like 10 months. That was kind of hard though, because she's like not like small as in like underfed, you know what I'm saying? But like she was a preemie when she was born. She's like a smaller baby, and she kind of had trouble like balancing her weight, but she finally got the hold of it. She's starting to say a lot of words, and you know.
Tell me what kind of things she likes to do. What kind of is she into any sort of TV shows?
Only Baby Shark. We went to Texas to see her dad, Ethan, and she slept the whole way there. Like I had to make her wake up to eat and stuff like that, and that's like a 24-hour drive there.
So let's get into the last time you saw her. Tell me what that time was like and when that was.
Well, actually, I want to talk about that. I've told TBI where to find her in Mendota. My mom took her to a campground and a silver camper, and if they don't go tonight, I'm going to go find her myself. Because I've told them, and they're not really, like, taking it seriously, and if they don't go tonight, like, I will go myself and go get her.
Tell me about the last time, though, that you saw Evelyn. Tell me what you guys did.
So she's, like, super tough now. She's like, I told them where she is and where my mother took her, and if they don't go get her, I'm going to go get her myself. It's like, wait a minute. Why didn't you go get her yourself? Because, remember, according to her, mom was just babysitting, and so she could go to work. And then when everything kind of blew up, they quote unquote took off with Evelyn. You are an old lady around here, but I love you all the same. You're like the OG. So yeah, I'm gonna go get her myself. But you didn't even go down the street to get her. So what are you talking about? Still doing personal interviews for jury selection. Still have a number of them to do, most likely a couple of days on that. Then they get 24 hours to get affairs in order to start trial and start sequestration. Yes. That's why I'm here. I keep hearing Thursday's the most likely. She said, I'm going to go get her myself. But the question was, tell us about the last time you saw her. She can't answer that question. She doesn't want to. But she did go back into the Baby Shark thing. She goes back into the whole sippy cup story.
And when that was.
We went to go out to eat, and then my mom came and got her. She was wearing a little hot pink tracksuit with the matching bow, little matching shoes.
And was this December 20, like right after Christmas?
A little bit before Christmas. My mom, like you can ask her, is a very vindictive, manipulating person, and yes. She basically like threatened me the whole time that she was gone.
Do you know who has Evelyn right now?
She dropped her off somewhere in Mendota at a silver camper. But my mom would always say the person, not like people, plural.
So there is a person that has her in Mendota.
They're not.
But now she's saying her mom took her to Mendota, which I think is, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, is Virginia? Is that, I think because it's a third, there's another state involved, and I think it's Virginia. Shit. Because the mom was found in North Carolina. She's in Tennessee. I think it's Virginia, but I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me. But she's saying, yeah, that her mom took her to somebody who was in a silver camper and just left her there.
Not taking.
And she says that last time she saw her was right before Christmas. So that's also interesting. Yeah, a half hour from there, give or take. Okay, thank you.
Me seriously, TBI isn't, because I've not fully told them. I've been like, hey, like my mom camped out at Mendota, you want to go check them out, but I've never been like specifically, hey, she's not your silver camper, because my mom did threaten me, like, you know, if I told anybody. I'm not going to get into that, but she did.
So your mom has had Evelyn the whole time? Or the whole time?
Or the person that is in Mendota has had her the whole time.
Tell me why you let your mom take care of her. Did she take her from you that night? And
well, she was just supposed to babysit her because I was going to work.
And then when did you know that something was wrong?
Well, whenever, like, she picked me up Wednesday, and I told her, like, hey, they're doing a press release about the Ambler thing, and then she freaked out, and that's why they couldn't find her. Like, nobody talked to her for days until they arrested her. She just kind of poof, gone. But she kept trying to take me to Mendota, and I kept asking. I was like, oh, are you taking me to Evelyn? And she would never tell me yes or no. And I was like, well, if you're not, I'm just calling my police station, come and get me. Like, I'm not playing these games with you.
Do you see that? She's saying that she last saw her mom. Her mom did not actually have Evelyn, that her mom had already taken her to Mendota and given her to somebody in a silver camper. So it's already changed. That story's already changed. Grandpa had last seen her at Thanksgiving. I think, once again, like I said, we'll get more information on that when we get more into like the hearings and stuff, but come trial, we'll obviously get all the details. Last it was reported was that somebody physically saw Evelyn on December 26th. We'll see.
And so tell me, the day that you dropped her off with your mom to let her babysit, was there anything off about your mom that day? Did you have any suspicion that she was going to take your child?
No. Well, I called her, and she was just like, oh, she's safe, like, you know, that kind of thing. And then she started threatening me, which, like I said, I'm not going to get into like everything she threatened me with, you know, because I'm just not. But
obviously,
there's nothing there.
You believe you know who has her. What do you have to say to them?
to just bring her back. I just want her back. That's all I want. I've been so long without her, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, why didn't you report it missing earlier? Because my mom threatened me, and I just want her back. That's all I can think about, so much I just want her back.
Talk to me about when you had the indication that she was missing and something was seriously wrong.
Just when she left and took off and just didn't answer her phone.
Talk to me about why your dad made that report.
Because he was talking to my mom the night before, and he was like, oh, well, if she doesn't come home, I'm going to call. And she was going on, well, you're going to regret this. Like, I'm going to have to leave and never be able to come back. You will regret this.
Was there a reason that, that you didn't make the call and it was your dad?
Because mom kept threatening me if I made the call.
You said that you've had some issues with your mom in the past. Was there a reason you decided to let her babysit her that night? I know that.
It's ironic that she says that she was threatened if she made the call, when that's exactly what Grandpa, Megan's dad, said was, you're going to regret that. That Angela had told him, you're going to regret it if you make that call. And now she's saying that Angela's been threatening her the whole time. Like, she just drops off Evelyn to be babysat while she goes to work. And then it's like, no, I'm going to threaten you with all these things that Megan doesn't want to tell us about if you try to come and take her from me. But she doesn't want her anyway because she takes her to Mendota and gives her to somebody in a silver camper. What? Not to mention, remember, all this time she's telling other family members that the baby daddy has her, that that she has a babysitter with her, like all kinds, just anything that she can come up with.
You said that you had.
Well, she's my mom. I wanted to trust her.
Sheriff Cassidy told the media on Friday, I was there, that you were giving conflicting statements.
Because I wouldn't necessarily, I was trying to protect my mom, maybe in hopes, oh, well, she'd just tell them where Evelyn was, but obviously she's not going to.
So now you're coming out and you're saying this is the honest truth, that you know where she is.
I know she has to be in a campground in Mendota with somebody. And mom told me that they had a silver camper, and that's all she would tell me.
Are you cooperating as much as you can with TBI and the Sullivan County Sheriff's Department?
I am.
But just tell me, how so are you, constantly on the phone with them, talking to them about the tips, anything like that?
Yeah, and I've looked into stuff online myself. Like, people are like circulating pictures around me, like, oh, this is Evelyn, you know what I'm saying? And like that kind of thing. But no. And like Saturday, nobody would answer me, and I blew all their phones up.
So.
And every chance they've let me be up there, I have been up there.
And Wednesday will be a week since the Amber Alert went out. Tell me what you're thinking right now.
I just don't know if the person who has her is like maybe scared that they're going to get in trouble. But they won't. They just bring her back.
What are you thinking about her current status right now? Do you think she is okay? Do you think she's being taken care of? And what is your message to authorities right now? To the TBI, Sullivan County, and all of the sheriff's departments and any authority that's working on this case?
Just that if they don't take it seriously, what I just said, I will go find her myself. They've told me before they'll arrest me for tampering with evidence. And I told them on my phone, I was like, I don't care if you arrest me for tampering with evidence. If you go up there, I'm going to deny it.
Do you have a message to the public?
Don't stop until she's back. They need to stop reporting like psychics for one, like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Because that just wastes the TBI's time when they could be actually trying to find my daughter. Instead, people are like, oh, well, this lady did tarot card reading. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like that just takes away from the time of like them actually searching for my daughter. I'm just happy that people are coming together to try to find her. Because the main important thing right now is the baby. I'm just happy that people are trying to find her.
Have you been in contact with her father, Ethan?
Yeah. He's actually trying to get leave approved right now to come up here and try to, help find her.
What is her relationship like with him?
She's only been around him a couple times because he was in the Army.
And what is your relationship like with him? Do you keep in contact with him?
Well, yeah, we have a kid together. You know what I mean?
Did you notify him when you knew something was wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you have multiple social media profiles? Is one that we've been getting.
Because I break phones a lot and I forget the password. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm really bad about remembering passwords. Now I have them all set to one, but, up until that point, I just, I just couldn't remember the password to them. So I'll just make a new one when I got a new phone.
Tell me why you wanted to come out today and speak with us.
Just to talk about Evelyn, and, if TBI doesn't go find her tonight, I'm hell-bent on going myself. And that's the truth, one way or another.
This is a really big case, and a lot of people have a lot of questions surrounding this. Is there any other message that you want to send to anyone?
Well, if you don't have tips for sure, because over 370 some tips have been called in and they've just not panned out. Like, I appreciate people trying to help, but like, also that's wasting like TBI's time because they have to check out every single lead that's called in.
Obviously it's been a long time since you've seen her. Are you worried about that? About reuniting with her?
No, because I love her. I know she loves me.
And do you think she's been taken care of well in the time that you've missed with her?
I hope she has been.
Tell me what the first things you want to do with her.
I'm just going to hug her and not let her go.
Wow.
Like, they'll have to pry her from my arms. Literally, because I'm just not going to let her go. Probably going to sing Baby Shark to her. And just hug her and not let her go. My favorite thing is the first time she kissed me, Lord, I cried for over a week because she would pull my hair and I would just let her do it, because I love her. Like, I didn't want to make her cry or be upset in any way. And she would pull chunks of my hair out. And she was in her walker one night and like she dropped her sippy cup and I bent down to pick it up. I thought, oh, she's going to pull my hair. She put my face close to her and she kissed my cheek and I just like cried about it for over a week. So I was like, oh my God, I'm the first person that she's kissed. You know what I'm saying? Just like little stuff like that. I love her to death. And I would hate to have missed out on anything, especially because of my mom.
And obviously,
why would you not send tips? Like, don't send tips. It's just a waste of time. Like, they know where she is because I told them that she's in this. But she also says she says that her mom is a liar and a manipulator, which I don't doubt. I mean, obviously this girl learned it from somewhere, but her mom is the one telling her that she took her to this silver camper in Mendota. And if her mom is a liar and a manipulator and she doesn't trust her mom, then why is she saying that she is in this silver camper? Why wouldn't she be like, yes, send any tips that you possibly can?
You told me you talked to your mom a couple of times throughout this. Yes. And each time, did she give you any update on Evelyn?
She just told me that she was safe.
So when was the last time you talked to your mom? Like physically just the two of you on the phone, or
Wednesday, the 19th.
tell me any details about that conversation?
I mean, she was just going off on me and wanting to go to Mendota. And I kept telling her, I was like, if Evelyn's in Mendota, just take me to her. I will take her up there. We can just end this right now. Like, let's make this simple. Just give me my child back right now before this gets blown out of proportion. And she would never be like, oh, yeah, I'm taking you. She'd just be like, you don't need to talk to them. I don't want you going up there, and like stuff like that. And I was like, okay, well, if you're not going to take me to her, pull over, and I will have like somebody on Sullivan County's end come get me to go up there and talk to them.
What is your biggest fear right now?
I have a lot of them.
Being
Just
arrested.
that I don't know that maybe they won't find her tonight, or, you know, maybe they don't find her tomorrow. Maybe it's weeks from now before they find her. You know, the people aren't going to be like, oh, well, like, I'm not giving her back because I've kept her for 2 months. This is my child now. Well, still, I'm just worried that they're going to be angry about that. You know what I mean?
Okay, so here you go. So she just said that the people who have her are going to say, I've had her for 2 months. I've had her for 2 months. This is my child now. But remember, she says that her mom actually had Evelyn and only took off with Evelyn when all this came out, which was, remember, she's reported missing on February 18th. But now this person in this silver camper is going to be like, nope, I'm keeping her. I've had her for 2 months. She's my baby. What? Why are you lying?
She just needs to come home.
Exactly.
She's been away from her mom for long enough.
So, I know there are a ton of social media rumors. So if there's anything that you wanted to set straight that I'm not aware of, I will. This is
Gypsies are not a cult. They've been asking people if there's like a gypsy ringleader, and like, I mean, like, we're not like ringleaders. We're not like out here kidnapping babies or anything like that.
So would you describe your family as a gypsy family?
Well, yeah. And like, my dad's very proud of that, you know, but he's just mad about all the rumors going around, like trashing them because like, we're not a cult, you know what I mean?
And now that your mom is back here, and are getting ready to be back here in Sullivan County, what do you hope comes out of that? Obviously, she and her, what I believe is her boyfriend, was arrested.
Well, I doubt she's going to tell the truth, but hopefully she does, for Evelyn's sake. Not even for her sake at this point. Just if she hears this, I hope you tell the truth for her sake. Like, that is your grandbaby. It's went on long enough.
Wow. Yeah, her and her family are gypsies, self-proclaimed gypsies. Somebody asked where the baby was found. The baby is found on the baby's grandparents, Megan's father's property. So we haven't got there yet, but you'll see. Okay, so here's one of the first press conferences that we have on the case. Yeah, so you call it a compound too? Okay, I called it a compound, but I was like, I don't know if that's. Yeah, I mean, it's a compound. I have the map of it in here. I'll show it to you guys as soon as we get to that place.
Evelyn was last seen in December. As you all know, these cases are already time sensitive, and we urge anyone with any information to come forward. I know there are a lot of questions and rumors.
I'll skip ahead just for that purpose, because you guys are going to all have questions about this. Evelyn was found wrapped in a baby blanket, in a fleece blanket, wrapped in aluminum foil, head down, in a trash can that had a trash bag in it. And they believe that she was put in there alive. So again, a fleece blanket wrapped around her, wrapped in aluminum foil, in a trash bag, in a trash can, inside of what was Megan's quote-unquote playhouse when she was younger. Now, talk about another side story with the Casey Anthony correlation, because for me, this reminds me the most of Casey Anthony. If you remember, the dogs actually hit on the playhouse in the Anthony's backyard, where they believe that she had originally put Kaylee. So just another playhouse. So yes, so I'm going to skip ahead to that because I know you guys are going to start talking about it in chat. So I'll just tell you that now. We will get to it in the slides, but yeah, yes. They believe she was put in there alive.
We have a lot of questions.
No wonder I skip ahead all the time. I blame you guys. It's your guys' fault in chat. You get me skipping all over the place.
Still unanswered as well. The investigation began on Tuesday afternoon, February 18, after the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office received a State of Tennessee Department of Children's Services referral. The referral stated that certain family members hadn't seen Evelyn in 2 months. The Sullivan County Sheriff's Office and the Department of Children's Services immediately launched an investigation to locate 15-month-old Evelyn Boswell. Her mother, Maggie Boswell, has been involved in the investigation as long as with the father, Ethan Perry, who is stationed in the military in Louisiana. On Wednesday evening, just before 8 p.m., the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation decided the missing child met the criteria for an Amber Alert due to the child possibly being in imminent danger of physical harm or death. Numerous tips came through the virtual command center and into our dispatch center. All leads have and will continue to be followed up on. We are continuing to interview anybody that may have any information on the whereabouts of Evelyn, or anybody that can provide us with that information.
Okay, so for clarity purposes, the baby daddy, Evelyn's dad, is not involved whatsoever at all. He was not anywhere in the area. He's completely cleared from any wrongdoing whatsoever. He was not there. Hold on real quick, sorry. Now, there are a lot of people, and I might be one of them, who wonder how nobody on the property knew this, which would be Megan's dad and Megan's grandmother, for just two of the people at least. So there's a lot of people who question whether Megan's dad had something to do with it or knew what had happened.
In this investigation, we were made aware of a person of interest that we would like to speak to. This may lead to additional relevant information in our investigation. This vehicle with the occupants is a gray 2007 BMW with Tennessee tags 3M9 6W9. That's 3 Mike 9 6 Whiskey 9. I am personally donating $1,000 for award for any information that results in the safe return of Evelyn, and would like to solicit other community members or anybody from the nation to attach themselves with me to aid in bringing sweet Evelyn home. Have any questions?
Who first reported the home?
He puts his own money, some of his own money in for the reward.
Or grandfather, I'm sorry, my bad.
Can't really hear the questions, so sorry.
That's our main worry. You know, this, like I say, this is unlike anything I've ever seen. We have to act really quick, and usually a 1 hour, 2 hour basis is when it's reported, but we're talking 2 months, and it's hindering a lot of our investigation. But we're going to continue investigating and continue following up on every lead that's come through our Tennessee Bureau of Investigation virtual command center and our dispatch.
Why is your interest peaked around this BMW? How did this come about?
I can't release any information on that at that time because some of the information we're getting is conflicting. It's inaccurate. But we do have a vehicle description that we think maybe the occupants of that vehicle or just wanted just a question. And that's, you know, we just need to talk to these people just so we can move on to different leads.
And you have released the tag number, which leads me to believe that you guys do know who the car is.
They weren't actually, they're not very poor though. They're not, I mean, they have a couple businesses.
I can't release that.
They own a trailer park. So I don't know if $1,000 would do it.
No, we just think that they have some additional information that could lead us to the contact or resulting in finding this child.
When was the last time the parents?
Yeah, he's got money.
Say that certain family members saw her last in December. When was the last time her mother and or her father saw her?
I'm not going to go into what the mother
true.
stated because, like I say, some of the conflicting stories are inaccurate. But
They're rough people, not broke people.
And this is the day I'm going on. Last saw the child December 10th and 11th.
There's a lot of rumors regarding the mother. I mean, is she a suspect?
Okay, so here he says that someone last saw the child December 10th or 11th.
Suspect at this time.
Has the father said anything? I know on Facebook he had some comments voicing his concern. Has he been cooperating with you as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Why was the mother in court this morning?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure why she was in court.
that would be a question of the juvenile court system. And who has custody of Evelyn? Did the mother have full custody of her?
Yeah, they had a baby out of wedlock in the state of Tennessee. The mother has full custody, so the mother would have full custody of the child.
With reporting a child missing after the child's been gone for 2 months, I mean, even though she said she's cooperating with the investigation, could she be looking at any additional child endangerment charges or stuff related to that?
That'll be something we'll have to discuss with our district attorney general and our district attorney's office at this time.
They essentially just like to live like nomads. That's how they like to live. Joanne, I don't think it even exists.
You know, she is cooperating, but like I say, some of the information she's given us hadn't been really accurate.
And obviously, in these kind of situations, you hope that you find the child alive. Do you think that we are looking for a child who is alive?
I think so, personally. And that's our main concern, is to find Evelyn.
Can you go into detail as to why you believe that?
Maybe that's the wrong term that I used. That's what I think of.
Yeah,
you can't hear the questions, just the
our
answers.
Interviews, you know, her stories aren't leading up to stuff that we went out and checked on, video surveillance, eyewitness testimony. So a lot of her information hadn't been accurate.
And as far as her story, I mean, what is she saying? You obviously, as law enforcement, look at someone who comes in and reports a child missing for 2 months. What is that story?
Yeah, I won't release that at this time as well, simply because it's went so many different directions and led us to so many different directions, and I don't want to confuse the public. Right now, you know, our main focus is getting Evelyn back, and the only information that I believe that could help us in maybe getting some more information is finding this gray BMW.
So it's not believed that the child is in that BMW, it's just believed that the person who owns that car
has some information. Yes, ma'am.
And do you have any concerns about trafficking in this case?
Always have concerns about trafficking and any type of offense, you know, across state lines and you know, selling. And you know, I always think of the worst, but you know, we just got to hope and pray little Evelyn's okay, and we can get her back as soon as possible.
And back to that car, do we know?
No, it's this part of the press conference is really bad rambling. Sorry. I'm just trying to get you guys the answers.
Towards North Carolina, towards Virginia?
Pretty much anywhere. Virginia was the last state I heard that she had some family members down there, and so it could be that way, you know. So I wish I could give you all more information. Like I say, we have just as much questions as you all, even after 4 days. I mean, we have literally, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, I want to thank them, and Federal Bureau of Investigation. They've brought all the resources, set up command centers, tip lines to take up all these tips, because you know our dispatch centers flooded with calls during the incidences like this, and you know, we're following every lead, even if we don't think it may be inaccurate. We're still going to follow every lead we get.
All right, we're gonna stop that one. We'll keep going because that audio, yeah, that one's you just can't hear their questions. Her story keeps changing. It does. It changes to the public, but it changes even more often to TBI. So we'll get to that too, because they actually will start to testify in the hearings that she did nothing but consistently give false statements, which she. Let's see if we're quite there. We're not quite there yet. But ultimately, she has 20 counts against her that she's going to trial for. 20 counts. And a lot of those counts are false reporting because they charged her for every time she lied to them. Okay, so right after this press conference, they get a tip to go and search a pond that belongs to a relative of Angela Boswell's boyfriend, where they were found. Remember, they're found in North Carolina. So they get a tip to go and search this pond. So this is where they end up heading.
Where is Evelyn Boswell? That's the question on everybody's mind.
Crews are searching a North Carolina pond in connection to the disappearance of the 15-month-old. News Channel 5's Sina Salim following the latest twists and turns in this case. And Sina, there have certainly been some challenges, right?
There has been, and that's because police say that the mother's story keeps changing, and it's that inconsistency that led to her arrest last night for false reporting. By now, you know this sweet face. 15-month-old Evelyn Boswell was last seen in December, but she wasn't reported missing until a week ago.
Every time we talk to her, her story changes. I'm serious when I say that, every single time.
That's Sullivan County Sheriff Jeff Cassidy talking about his frustration with Megan Maggie Boswell. The 18-year-old was arrested for false reporting after investigators say she gave conflicting statements. The mom has sole custody of Evelyn.
She has been inaccurate, conflicting statements all through this investigation.
We got a hold of Maggie's arrest affidavit, revealing she told investigators the little girl was with the child's father, and they were supposed to meet last week to exchange custody. But after further investigating, detectives determined the father is actively enlisted in the U.S. Army and currently stationed in Louisiana, and Evelyn isn't with him. Boswell also told investigators her daughter could be in Virginia, and yet still no sign of her.
Very frustrating. 2 months before she's even reported missing. It puts us behind, puts our investigation behind.
Investigators are not giving up, taking their search to Wilkes County, North Carolina. That's where investigators also arrested Evelyn's grandmother and William McLeod last weekend, questioning them about the toddler's disappearance. We just learned from our affiliate, McLeod's family owns the land next to the pond investigators are searching. The search turned out inconclusive. The reward for Evelyn's whereabouts is now nearly $60,000. Everyone has their eyes on this case, including lawmakers. Today, lawmakers introduced an amendment to existing legislation now known as the Evelyn Law. It will increase penalties against parents or guardians who fail to report a missing child within 48 hours of that child's disappearance to law enforcement. In the newsroom, Sina Saleem, News Channel 5.
Thanks, Sina.
I'm thinking it's 20. I think she was facing 19, but they dropped another murder charge on her in 2024. Maybe I'm wrong and that was the 19th, but I thought she already had 19 and now she has 20 off of that one. So, all right. So here's some more info about this tip. So, William McLeod's grandma, Mary McLeod, actually said that her grandson, William and Angela Boswell, had come to her home on February 21st and asked for gas money. Mary said that her grandson's feet were wet. So that's why she called in the tip to have them come and search the pond when she found out that Evelyn was missing and that they were looking for her grandson. So the tip that had them search this pond was from his own grandma. Oh, okay. Perfect. Thank you, Sleuthy. Maybe they dropped one somewhere along the way. They also said that there was a tip at the KFC. There was a tip from the KFC that somebody had claimed that they had seen Evelyn there with her grandma in like a week prior. And so they were checking at the KFCs to see if there was anything. All of this comes back with nothing. Nothing. Nada. So this is a trailer park that is owned by Tommy Boswell Jr., which is Megan's brother. And so Megan and Evelyn lived in this trailer that we're going to be looking at here in this news clip. And they go and search this trailer and serve a search warrant on the current resident. And he ends up speaking out about what they were doing and what they found.
We are continuing our coverage of a toddler now missing out of Sullivan County.
Today, investigators searched a mobile home park in an effort to find the 15-month-old. As you likely know, Evelyn Boswell reported missing last week, even though she had actually been missing since December.
Investigators searching that mobile home park near Boone Lake. Crews with WJHL, our sister station in the Tri-Cities, speaking with residents there who were there as investigators conducted their search. Matter of fact, Zachary Warfield saying he's only lived at his home now for just a few months and that Evelyn Boswell might have lived there with her mother, Megan, before he did.
Warfield said investigators were at his home for 15 to 20 minutes and that they were digging around the back where, quote, they saw some soft ground, and they also dug beneath his home where they found something, he says, and removed it. That's all we know right now. Evelyn's mother and grandmother, Megan and Angela Boswell, as well as Angela Boswell's boyfriend, William McLeod, were arrested since an Amber Alert for Evelyn was issued last week. Megan Boswell is charged with making a false report. Angela Boswell and McLeod charged with driving a stolen car.
Now, the search for Evelyn is ongoing. The reward for information leading to her return increasing now to over $60,000. Anyone with information urged to call the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND.
So in the photo down here on the bottom is a photo that the current resident took of where they had dug. And then there are pictures of them walking away with items in the items that they had found in paper bags, which typically paper is to preserve DNA. So just FYI. Indiana girl, that was exactly my point at the beginning of this, because of this family. Like, is there going to be a, this should have been earlier. I don't know why I put it in the wrong order. We already know that she was arrested for false reporting. Now everybody starts asking the law enforcement if she was really pregnant, because remember, she told the public she couldn't take a lie detector test because she was pregnant and they wouldn't give her one. So the captain makes a statement, and it's a very telling statement. He says, "I cannot confirm or deny her pregnancy. What I can tell you is that the jail medical staff keeps track of pregnant inmates for obvious purposes. On Monday, February 24th, there were 4 pregnant inmates. On Tuesday, February 25th, there were still 4 pregnant inmates. Megan Boswell was booked in at 9:19 p.m. on Tuesday. The pregnant inmate count went to 5 on Tuesday, 2/25 at 11 p.m. when a pregnant woman was booked in. On Wednesday, 2/26, the pregnant inmate count was 5. So he's like, Riddle, here you go. You figure out if she was pregnant. Surprise, she wasn't pregnant. So here's her first court appearance. Is this a riddle? I know, that's what I'm like, yeah, he totally riddled that. So she could have been pregnant, but she wasn't pregnant. No baby. This one's not very long, so I'll play most of it, but some of the other ones are longer, and I have some certain clips I'll play for you.
Megan Boswell, she's the custody sheriff, president of the courtroom, represented by Mr. Sproles.
You can just see this. You really can't hear a ton of it, but you can see the look on her face as this is all happening. So she knows that she's been charged at this time with 11 counts of false reporting. Well, I don't know if it was 11. She was charged with lying to cops, and I think 11 might come with the indictment. Well, I might have the timeline off.
False reporting is a class D felony, 2 to 12 years. 2 to 12 years has to be disposed of in the criminal court. So what he says you want to do is not have any witnesses here in the preliminary hearing. He talked with you about
Charles.
It. And so if you want to give it up, you can do that.
He skirted around that hip. Yeah, he did. He did a little jig.
You give up the chance to hear witnesses testify.
So she gets a court-appointed attorney. Shit, what's his name? Gary? Is it Gary Sproles?
Raise your right hand. You swear that what you just said is the truth, and what you not say is the truth? Yes, Your Honor.
She's 18 at this time now. Yes, at the time she's arrested, she's 18. She was 16 when she got pregnant with Evelyn. Yeah, you can't really hear what he's saying. Let me skip ahead. I don't know why some of the audio is so bad and some of it isn't. I watched all of these when I put them on here and they were fine.
Juvenile court issues resolved, we want her to be able to bond out.
Judge, just briefly in response.
Better?
The state has no evidence or any knowledge of any prior criminal history. However, the state would ask the court to consider the nature of this offense by reading of the affidavit of complaint. And based upon a reading of the affidavit of complaint, it's the state's position that the probability of conviction in this case would be high. And court's already
discharged, not anything else.
Correct. And that the court's already advised regarding the possible sentence of 2 to 12 years. There's an absence of any responsible members of this community that appears today before Your Honor to vouch for her or her reliability. And as far as her home situation, Your Honor, the address that she provided the court is not the address where she was residing at the time, and the place where she was residing at the time of this offense, it's my understanding she would not be able to return there, and she had only been at that residence for a brief period of time, and so based upon that, her, although she does have ties to the community, her residence is in question and is unstable. So the state would ask the court to consider those things and set it along.
Judge, if I could just respond to the last issue there.
She's essentially living like a gypsy.
Provided is different.
No pun intended.
Or as an address family member who she has made arrangements with. She
Well,
would
notice
be-
I didn't ask her here.
I understand.
So this is her OG
The
attorney.
address she gave you is one that she would be able to live at if she were to leave.
So she didn't have a steady place where she was living. She would stay at her grandpa's and her, or I would say, sorry, she would stay at her dad's and her grandma's. She also stayed with her boyfriend, and then she tried to stay with a friend of hers too. But then the friend of hers said she was lying to her about where Evelyn was, and she knew she was lying about it. I don't think I put that in here, but that's like social media stuff. That this girl had come out and said, hey, she was trying to stay here, but she was lying to me about where Evelyn was, and so I wouldn't let her stay. So I don't know if you can take that for what you want. That was just somebody on social media. It could be legit. So this is the compound, if you will, and I think did I put an aerial in here? Oh, I did. Okay, good. Where all this land is where Tommy Boswell Sr. owns all of this. So up here is his house. Down here is his mother's house. And then you're going to see like there's like a garage area and some sheds and things down here. Hey, I am not a cat. Thank you. If I don't stream the trial, Ellie, I will definitely be going over it for sure because I am not going to miss the trial. I'm concerned about the start date of Thursday because I have an appointment Thursday morning that I can't miss. So I don't know. I'm kind of playing it by ear. I'd love to stream the trial. I'd love to stream all the trials. It's just time-wise, it's so hard. But maybe with Sleuthy said maybe we can figure something out where she can at least kind of control the because if something stops or something pauses and I wouldn't be around to fix it if I'm not here. So, but she can because she has access to all the back end stuff, so she could do that if something did happen. So they did a couple searches of this place, most specifically Grandma's house because that was one of the main places that she was staying at. So this is Tommy Boswell Sr.'s residence up here on this hill, and I have the bird's eye too, so it'll be easier for you guys to see. So the other picture was taken from down here. So up here, Tommy Boswell's house. You can see down here is his mother, so Megan's grandma, Evelyn's great grandmother's house. And then there's like this little shed area back here and like a garage. So you can see it. I mean, it's like a compound. So, but they did multiple searches of the inside of the houses because that's one of the places she had been staying. I said for years, Tennessee needs resources where teen parents have to take parenting classes. I mean, that's a really good point. And she's just a young mom with a fucked up family. It's too hard. Wait, so grandpa reported baby missing, but baby was found on his land. Correct. Yes. You can, yep, Sleuthy can see all the things. The whole family is a dumpster fire. Yeah, this is Evelyn's grandpa, Megan's dad, Tommy Boswell Sr. This is his land. I believe it was actually grandma's land before that, but don't quote me on that. I don't remember all that. I dug into all that stuff back in 2020. I don't know if I remember all the things correctly. It's huge. That's why I'm like, it's kind of like a compound because there's multiple residences on the compound. And then they also own that trailer park. So you can kind of see, this is, somebody made this for one of the groups, but it's perfect because, and I'm going to show you some of these photos as we go along, but it kind of just tells you where everything is. It's twisted. It's twisted because you can see like this is the White House. This is Tommy Sr.'s house up here. There's a church right here, which is if you're watching any type of coverage like on the news, all the news stations were like camped out in this church parking lot. Okay. So now we have on March 6, 2020 is the day that they find Evelyn's remains. So they don't verify that it is Evelyn, but this little body is found in the shed that I was just showing you, in the shed over here, right next to this house. And then I think it's like takes 2 days before they actually come out with like the news reports that it's verified that it is Evelyn. But I mean, they know it's Evelyn. And they report that she was wearing the same clothes that Megan kept saying in all those interviews, that she was actually found wearing those clothes when she was found. So the last time Megan says she saw her daughter, which remember was months ago, and tells everybody what she was wearing because she remembers what she was wearing months prior to reporting that she was reported missing. And then the little girl is actually found in those clothes. Emily D. Baker, I am assuming. Tiffany.
We had hoped to provide this evening.
Tell me you can hear.
Before we get started, you should know that this is a very active investigation.
Why
We
is it doing
understand
that?
that you have a lot of questions, but please understand, in order to preserve the integrity of the investigation, there's not a lot that we can release at this time.
Tell me you guys can hear this one okay.
Jeff Cassidy is going to give a brief statement followed by District Attorney General Barry Staubus. Sure.
I'm Jeff Cassidy, Sheriff of
Justice
County. I first want to thank the community for their outpouring of love, support, and prayers for the last 17 days when sweet Evelyn was first reported missing.
Hello?
I want to thank the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and our detectives and officers for their persistence, dedication, and hard work in trying to locate Evelyn. This evening, we received information that led TBI agents and Sullivan County detectives to a property belonging to a family member of Evelyn's mother in the 500 block of Muddy Creek Road in Blumpville.
Did that fix it?
During the search, investigators discovered human remains believed to be those of a 15-month-old girl. The remains will be sent for an autopsy and a positive identification. At this time, the investigation is in the very early stages. There's a lot of work left to be done, and right now, this is the extent of what we can provide today.
Yeah, we maybe.
I would now like to introduce
on Court TV.
our District Attorney General Barry Staubus, who can advise you how the case will progress from here on forward.
Oh shit! Sorry, Steve.
Thank you.
I'll shut up.
I first want to say I want to thank law enforcement. We've been involved as part of the investigation.
That's the prosecutor.
Since its inception, and it's been excellent working relationship with our office and the TBI, the Sheriff's Department, and the FBI. And at this point, as the sheriff pointed out, we're just in the beginning stages of the investigation. And at this point, we're just going to continue working. There's a lot of work to still be done. And at that, we will evaluate our case and what we're going to do next after we conclude our investigation. So based on what has happened tonight, there's a lot of work to be done forensically and just old-fashioned investigative work. So thank you.
Thank you for coming.
So super short. Sorry, I didn't realize like I was so loud compared to what they were doing, but I should have realized that. So I apologize to anybody if you're listening and all of a sudden I blew out your eardrums. Please forgive me. I will probably do it again, but I won't do it intentionally. So they found, like I said, they found the remains. They know it's her, but they can't actually confirm it's her until a couple days later. Well, here's Megan back to court.
Ms. Boswell,
What are you
remain standing, raise your right hand. You solemnly swear affirm testimony you're about to give be the truth, the whole truth, and the truth, and information on the uniform affidavit of innocence is true and correct.
Yes, Your Honor.
Have a seat.
It's her attorney over here for some reason.
Ma'am, you're not working, do not receive any government assistance, is that correct?
Correct.
You have a vehicle worth about $10,000, and you owe $7,000 loan, is that correct?
I no longer.
So this is Susie Q. It's a great question, and I'm going to tell you what I think led them there, but I don't take it for like fact because it was really a lot of speculation, and I don't think that we've publicly been told exactly what did. But from my understanding, Grandpa Tommy Boswell Sr. actually said, "I think that you guys need to come and research the property." But I don't know if that's ever been confirmed, like through any of the hearings and stuff. So, okay, legal Lacey's saying the same thing. So that's what I was under the impression of, but I don't know if that's 100%.
Had that vehicle, but I have owned it for the last 6 months.
There was another Santa prosecutor. Yeah,
Live
senior one though.
Questions blank. I'm gonna hand that down. If you don't own the piece of property, put a 0 or an A or something in there.
We're supposed to be here too. Okay. Look at her hair.
You put NA on the other asset questions, ma'am, or you tell me you do not own any property at all.
Yeah,
No,
I think so too.
I'm gonna appoint public defender, assess PTR administrative fee to take 14 days after release. She's been bound over for a false report.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Lullabies. Thank you for
So,
being here. I appreciate it.
No, not public defender. Did I write that? Yeah. That's had it. Mr. Sproles, do you take that appointment?
Yes, I probably wrote down exactly what time I wanted to do this, but
Of course, we're gonna appoint Brad Sproles.
thank you, Your Honor.
timeline-wise, I don't think she's indicted yet. I think that comes up next.
The case was scheduled for May 8th.
Let's skip ahead.
Yes, sir, February 18th of 2020.
And how did that investigation begin?
Here I am thinking that I'm going to be able to remember where I wanted to go in each of these. So next time I do that, tell me how dumb that idea.
It was originally a DCS referral that Evelyn Boswell was missing.
There we go.
And also went to the Sullivan County Sheriff's Department.
And did you have a date according to the referral when she'd last been seen?
As December 26th, 55 days from the time of the report.
Okay. And
See, he says December 26th also.
The legal guardian of Evelyn Boswell.
Yes, sir, we did.
Who was that?
Megan Boswell.
Is she here in the courtroom today?
Thank you,
Yes, sir.
Delana.
Can you identify?
Yes, sir. It's my right here.
Seated next to Mr. Sproul.
Yes, sir.
Did you determine from the referral the age of the child at the time of the disappearance?
Yes, sir.
What was that?
That was about a year.
Now, as part of the investigation, was Megan Boswell interviewed by you and other law enforcement agents during the pendency or during this investigation of the disappearance of Evelyn Boswell?
Yes, sir, she was.
And you conducted your interview one-on-one with her on, or at least you with the lead interviewer on at least one occasion.
Yes, sir, I did.
No, CH, it was actually a trailer park that they own, that Tommy Boswell Jr., I believe, owns.
And did you review the other interviews or statements of interviews conducted by other law enforcement agents?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Boswell. Based on her responses in your investigation, did you come to the conclusion that false statements were made by Ms. Boswell?
Yes, sir, several.
And as a result, she was
Several
charged with at
statements.
least one count.
Can you guys hear this one okay?
False report by affidavit complaint in Bristol Sessions Court. Is that
That's
correct?
correct. Yes, sir.
And what was the effect of the false statements on the investigation?
Because an Amber Alert was issued, various resources were expended, man hours, time, but the most crucial thing was time lost.
And why was that?
Anytime an Amber Alert is issued, time is of the essence.
Now, these resources were not just by TBI, is that correct? Were there
No,
other
sir.
agencies involved?
TBI, of course, all of Sullivan County Sheriff's Department, criminal investigation team, FBI was brought in, dozens of agents and investigators.
So I want to go to March 6th this year. And was there a search conducted at the residence of the Boswell family on that day?
Yes, sir, there was.
And when I say Boswell family, we're talking about the defendant's father, brother, and grandmother. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes, sir.
And what was found upon that, conducting that search?
There was a body, a child, approximately a year and a half old.
We know it's not been positively identified by forensic testing. Did that child appear to be the same age, same size as the photographs and the information you obtained even from the defendant about the child's characteristics?
Yes, sir.
What else was found there?
The clothing with the prior interview of Ms. Boswell, clothing described in that interview was exact clothing that was found on this child.
What else was found there?
There was various child clothing, diapers,
That's right.
toys, that kind of thing that would belong to the child.
They
Based on
found
your conversation,
toys and clothes and other things like that in the vicinity of where they found her body. I had forgotten about that. But I mean, I don't know if they're going to be able to prove that they were put there at the same time, or if that's just maybe she was storing them there. I don't even know if it's relevant to anything, but they did find a bunch of the baby stuff. And for months before, she was selling things like on Facebook Marketplace, like lots of baby stuff. But she was doing that when Evelyn was still alive. So I don't know if they're going to even bring that into play.
and observations of the defendant during the investigation. Did she have did she currently have did she then have a residence? Did she have a place where she lived and stayed?
No, sir, she didn't.
Is she currently employed?
No, sir.
Would she be able to go back to where she was working on before while this investigation was pending?
Most likely not.
Okay. Were you aware of any out of state and out of contacts during the relevant dates of this investigation that the defendant has with other individuals?
Through the investigation, we identified 3 states, Virginia, North Carolina, and Texas.
Her mother drove to North Carolina, is that correct?
That's correct.
And mother's boyfriend, Mr. McLeod. And did you also determine that the defendant had made trips out of state?
Yes, sir.
Where was that?
Texas.
And when was that time period?
The fall of 2019.
Also, were the trips out of town made outside the Tri-Cities?
Yes, sir.
Where was that?
Knoxville, Gatlinburg, Sevier County.
That's all the questions we have this time.
Agent Fraley, you were describing trips outside of Sullivan County. You said Texas. Do you know when that trip occurred?
I believe it was October 2019.
No, he ended up out on bond. I think they both ended up out on bond, actually. I think hers just took longer. Don't quote me on that, because like I said, once I didn't really care to follow too much of what was going on with their court cases. But he ended up out on bond and actually ended up talking to people on Facebook, William McLeod, like yelling at people and saying like, leave us alone. And he says he never even met Evelyn. No, wait, that's Hunter. Hunter says he never met Evelyn. William says he only had met her like once or twice. Okay.
Prior to
Thank you. I'll look.
the events here.
Yes, sir. Prior.
And then you described trips to Knoxville or Gatlinburg.
Yes, sir.
Do you know when those occurred?
I don't have the exact dates. I don't recall those.
Okay. Can you say since the investigation has been ongoing that she's been out of state?
To my knowledge, she is not.
And then during your investigation, did you have a chance to look at the criminal background or any prior convictions for Ms. Boswell?
Yes, sir. We did.
And what did you find?
No criminal history.
She's never been convicted of anything. And did you see that she never been charged with any kind of failure to appear?
That's correct.
Describe that she has some contacts out of state. Does she also have contacts here in Sullivan County, family members?
Yes, sir, she does.
Could you say that the majority of her family contacts and relationships are here in Sullivan County?
Yes, sir.
That's all the questions we have.
Just one quick, during the defendant's investigation, she was in Virginia, is that correct?
I'm sorry.
She was in Virginia, the defendant, during the time of the investigation of disappearance. She did go into Bristol, Virginia, Washington.
Yes, that's
County.
correct.
That's all.
No, perfect.
I think that
Employment proof was that she's not working now or she's incarcerated, but that she wouldn't be able to get an affidavit related to false reports. We intend to submit those in April.
Okay, I think that's really it for that one. I just wanted you guys to hear his testimony. Now we're in like the midst of COVID, so.
All right, Ms. Boswell's here in court by video from jail holding. Mr. Sproles is present by video. Teresa Nelson with the district attorney's office is present by video. We're here.
Have that case presented to the grand jury. And for the court's benefit, I know you're not aware, but Mr. Sproles is aware, and he has attempted to view, in my presence, the two of us have attempted to begin reviewing the recorded interviews of the defendant. And Mr. Sproles, I think, would confirm there's more than probably 25 hours of just video interview of the defendant. And it is necessary for me to review all of that material before that case is presented to the grand jury. I have been working on that, but at this point, I'm not quite ready. I think Mr. Sproles would confirm. I mean, it requires multiple hours just to get through one recorded interview.
What's your time frame? What are you thinking? How far out do I need to?
If we could set another appearance date, possibly in June, the goal would be that she would be indicted either on May the 20th or the next grand jury in June.
So that would be.
They're talking about putting her case in front of the grand jury for all of the false statements, but she has to watch over 25 hours of interviews that Megan was sitting there lying about where Evelyn was. All right, we're gonna skip that one. So both sides of Evelyn's family, which is Ethan Perry's family and Tommy Boswell. Tommy Boswell Sr. actually specifically puts in there from the Boswell family minus Angela Boswell because he doesn't want her included in his statement. And people would consider her a Boswell because that's still her name. So they both make a statement separately just saying, hey, like, we know all this stuff is going on, but they found our granddaughter and just leave us be for a little while. So they both make this public statement. It's really interesting because of the fact that he purposely excludes his ex-wife. They're waiting for the grand jury indictment for the false charges, which we just listened to that one, or for the false statements. And then they are still awaiting the autopsy results before they can go any further with the case about Evelyn. So the grand jury indicts Megan on 11 counts of false reporting at the end of May. So she has bond, but not a lot. Now in August of 2020, we get another press conference where she is indicted on felony murder. So hopefully you guys can hear this one.
Good afternoon. I'm Leslie Earhart, a public information officer for the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Thank you for being here.
I love that level of pettiness.
This case has been difficult from the beginning. Not only did it capture the attention of residents here in Sullivan County, but all across the country. Simply put, Evelyn stole our hearts. So we do appreciate you being here today and continuing to follow this case as it develops. In just a moment, you'll be hearing from three speakers: District Attorney General Barry Stavas, Sullivan County Sheriff Jeff Cassidy, and TBI Director David Roush. We also want to thank Special Agent in Charge Joseph Carrico with the FBI for being.
Real quick, Joanna, I'll answer. So it was, COVID happened in 2020, so that kind of put everything up. But she was originally supposed to go to trial in 2022. And then her and her lawyer, Brad Sproles, is it Brad or Gary? I don't know why I keep messing that up. Maybe it's Brad. I think it's Brad. I actually have it written in here, and I think it's Brad. Brad Sproles, Mr. Sproles, and her have a difference of opinion on certain parts of her case. And so he ends up actually asking the court to remove him. And so she gets another public defender. And then they request, hey, we just got on this case. We don't know anything about it. We can't go to trial here coming up. like, we need a continuance. And so they pushed it until January. What they were going to actually do was December of 2024, they were going to get the jury, and then they were going to start the trial at the end of January, beginning of February. So they were going to pick the jury last month. There's a reason for that, because she asked for a change of venue, but they don't do a change of venue or veneer. So they end up actually just deciding that they're going to sequester the jury. So they were going to have them picked and then give them time to prepare to be sequestered. But now they're just giving them the 24 hours. So essentially, it was going to be the regular old 2 years, which is what we typically see. But then she got a new attorney, and then he needed 2 years to prepare.
Being here today, and for the FBI's assistance during the search for Evelyn, as well as their support throughout the investigation. Please understand that the information you are about to hear is the extent of what we can provide at this time in order to preserve the integrity of the case. For that reason, we will not be opening the floor to questions once the speakers are finished. General Staubus.
Thank you. Good afternoon. This afternoon, the grand jury of Sullivan County returned a true bill, a presentment, charging Megan Boswell with a total of 19 counts. There were 2 counts of felony murder, one in perpetration of aggravated child abuse and one in perpetration of aggravated child neglect. 1 count of aggravated child abuse, 1 count of aggravated child neglect, 1 count of tampering with evidence, 1 count of 12 counts of false report, 1 count of abuse of corpse, 1 count of failure to report a death under suspicious or unusual or unnatural circumstances. The next hearing date is August the 28th in criminal court for Sullivan County, and the bond on this case currently is $1 million.
Thank you, General Staubus. Baby Evelyn's body was found on March 6th. Since that time, my detectives, TBI agents, and the DA's office have worked tirelessly conducting interviews, combing through evidence, and establishing a timeline in order to determine the circumstances leading to baby Evelyn's death. As a result of false information given by the defendant, along with misinformation circulated in the community, there's been a lot of confusion in the case. I want to be clear when I say that after an extensive and thorough investigation, other individuals were eliminated as suspects, and Megan Boswell became the sole suspect in this case. My office has received dozens of calls and messages over the last several months from concerned residents wanting to make sure that we had not forgotten about baby Evelyn. I assure you we haven't, and we won't. I want to express my sincere appreciation to those residents who have shown their support throughout this process. We've received foods, cards, prayers, many encouragement, and we appreciate that more than you know. I know many of you still have a lot of questions in this case. Please know that we can't speak to the evidence gathered during this investigation because this case now has to be prosecuted. We are determined to make sure that justice is served for baby Evelyn. Thank you. I'll now turn it over to Tennessee Bureau of Investigation Director David Roush.
Thanks, Sheriff. I appreciate it. I'd like to thank the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office, the District Attorney's Office, and the FBI for their partnership in this case. This case is yet another example of the excellent collaborative efforts of law enforcement in Upper East Tennessee, and quite frankly, throughout the state. Every single person who worked on this case should be commended. I know it wasn't easy, and it had to be heartbreaking throughout. As we struggle to attempt to understand why or even how someone can harm an innocent child, we will never know, because thank God most of us are not wired that way. But we can certainly try our best to make sure that those responsible for these incomprehensible acts are held accountable. Today's indictment is the first step in assuring that that happens. Our hearts and prayers go out to the family and friends who love baby Evelyn along with the many citizens who, like us, developed deep-seated love for this sweet little girl. She didn't deserve this. No child does. And that's why we will continue to work to pursue justice in this case. It's the best and most important thing we can do to honor her memory. We now move to the critical role in our system of working with General Staubus's office to engage the courts and provide the proof that so many have worked tirelessly to collect. We are deeply grateful to this team of professionals for the determined and methodical investigation. In closing, we would like to encourage anyone who suspects that a child is being abused to immediately report it. Child abuse must stop, and we must do all we can in our power to make it stop. You can report it to your local law enforcement agency or call the Tennessee Child Abuse Hotline at 1-877-237-0004. Thank you.
Okay, so now we're back in August. She's indicted on the felony murder charges. I think I have them. I think they're next. They are. Okay, so felony murder, 2 different counts, aggravated child abuse, aggravated child neglect, tampering with evidence, and then a bunch of false reports, false report, and then abuse of a corpse. So that's what that's the 19 counts that she had in 2020. That's why I'm like, maybe they dropped one along the way somewhere. I don't know, but I'm thinking the one that came out in 2024 is that, but we haven't got there yet. So here she is back in court in 2021. Just going to show you just a snippet. It's short anyway.
Where are we? All right.
Low light recovery.
Ms. Boswell's before the court in jail holding. Where are we?
Well, Judge, last time we came here, there were still outstanding lab tests, forensic testing, still outstanding. Hopefully will be completed by September. We also responded to
this is really just them getting prepped for trial and seeing what's left. It's super short. I just wanted to show you kind of what the court looked like at that time. And nobody's a cat.
We also arranged a conference.
Okay, so
The instruction not to disseminate it because we don't want that to be previewed before we have a jury pool, because as you know, generally the court wants the jurors to be candid and be under supervision of the court and sworn to at the time of completion.
She was in prison. She was in jail.
Opportunity, maybe for potential jurors to look at the form and formulate answers for somebody to assist.
This guy is the one that we want to listen to.
Good morning. Good morning. You are Special Agent David Gratz, is that correct?
We know how you can hear it.
And who are you currently employed with?
The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation.
And what is your position or assignment there with the TBI?
I'm a special agent assigned to the Criminal Investigation Division.
And how long have you been with the TBI?
About 2.5 years.
TBI.
What did you do before you joined the TBI?
I was an assistant district attorney for about 5 years.
And where were you with ABA?
In the 3rd Judicial District.
And how long did you do that?
About 5 years.
Agent Gratz, if we could, I want to go back to February of 2020. Were you called out to assist the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office on an investigation that involved a 15-month-old child by the name of Evelyn Boswell?
Yes, I was.
If the sound is bad, let me know, and I'll just find it on YouTube.
At that time,
it's a good testimony.
Kind of the initial report that got everything started really wasn't a call to law enforcement. Initially, it was a call to the Department of Children's Services that was made on February the 18th. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And who was it that made that initial call?
It was actually the child's of Evelyn's paternal grandfather, Tommy Boswell, and also his mother.
Sleuthy says could be better, so let me see. Let me see if this helps.
And let's kind of set the stage here a little bit by identifying some of the parties. You mentioned biological grandfather who made the call, that's Tommy Boswell, correct?
Yes.
And what is his relation
Any better?
to the defendant, Mary Boswell?
I think that might just be the audio of the stream, but let me see real quick. This one's the April 2022. Let me see if there's a different stream. Because he really goes a lot through the timeline of what you want to know. So I just want to make sure you guys can hear what he says. Where am I listening to it? WBIR. That's the same one, right? This one's different. Let me see if this is any better.
I was called in the next day to
No,
assist.
I think it's just the courthouse.
And by the time I arrived, around noon, I believe on the 19th, the sheriff's office, TBI, the federal bureau.
I don't think that one's actually better at all. I think the other one's better. Yeah, I think because this is two different news stations with the same issue. I think that's the only other one who has it too. I think we're stuck with this one, guys. Sorry.
That's her father.
And then the child, that is Evelyn Boswell, correct?
Yes.
What was the...
All he said so far is that he was called out in February for a missing child that DCFS or DCS had originally gotten a call for from the grandpa, and he just goes through his history. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't really said anything quite yet.
Without getting into too many of the facts, what was the nature of that initial call to DCS?
It was essentially two-pronged. It was number one, they hadn't seen the child in quite some time. There was also sort of a...
Well, Sleuthy, Court TV is going to be doing the one for the trial. Well, the local news station will be too, but Court TV will have it.
A rumor or a belief that the child may have a broken arm.
So, as you mentioned, there was a possibility of potential injury to the child. So the sheriff's office had gone along to assist DCS because of the possibility there might be some potential child abuse there. Is that right?
Yes.
When the sheriff's office and DCS got there to investigate, was Evelyn present so that they could evaluate to see the child, see whether she had any injuries?
No.
What was the explanation or, I guess, the story that was given by Megan Boswell at that time as to where her child was?
Megan stated the child Evelyn was with her father, who she stated was Ethan Perry.
And did she say where Mr. Perry was at that time?
She, if I remember correctly, she sort of speculated that he might have been in Louisiana, but he also might be living in Kingsport.
Were you all able to locate Mr. Perry?
Not at the time, no.
Through further investigation, did you find out where Mr. Perry was?
Yes.
Okay, and where was he?
He was active duty military stationed in Louisiana.
All right. And did you all make contact with the folks down in Louisiana?
Yes.
And was Mr. Perry, in fact, at that Army base?
Yes.
Was Evelyn there with him?
No.
So you all were able to pretty quickly prove the information that Ms. Boswell had given you about the location of the child was not correct. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, after that initial report, over the next few days, did you, along with other investigators and officers, conduct a series of interviews with the defendant, Megan Boswell?
Yes.
All right. And what were the nature of those interviews? What were y'all talking about?
We were trying to locate Evelyn Boswell.
And after speaking with her, and you spoke with her on multiple occasions, would that be correct?
Yes.
All right. What did you determine about the information that Megan was giving you?
It was false.
And as a result of that, on February 25th of 2020, the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office charged Megan Boswell with one count of false report. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that was for the information that she gave to them initially back on February the 18th of 2020. Is that right?
That's correct.
All right. Agent Kratz, if you could, I'm going to hand you a document and ask if you can identify it. Do you recognize what's been handed to you?
Yes.
And what is it?
It's a certified copy of the general session.
Okay. Was that the affidavit of complaint that was filed on February 25th, 2020, charging Megan Boswell with that one count of false report?
Yes.
Judge, we would really make that exhibit if you wanted for this hearing.
Tiffany, he'll probably testify at trial too. What is to the right of the TBI guy? Oh, like this? A
Agent
shuttle?
Kratz, at this time, there were
I think it's
no
a shuttle.
charges that had been placed
Like a hot dog shuttle.
regarding any sort of child abuse or murder. Is that right?
That's correct.
Because of the fact that at that point in time,
Hey, Salty
February
Sweet
25th, you still didn't know where Evelyn was.
That's correct.
But your investigation did not end on February 25th.
No.
All right. In fact, there were, tell the court, I mean, besides the TBI, what other agencies were investigating Megan's disappearance, or Evelyn's disappearance, sorry?
The initial investigating agencies would have been DCS and the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office. Later in the evening on February the 18th, Special Agent Brian Pritchard was called in to assist Sullivan County Sheriff's Office. I was called in the next day to assist. And by the time I arrived around noon, I believe on the 19th, the Sheriff's Office, TBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, was also present.
And in addition, your investigation, you all were interviewing witnesses.
Yes.
Is that right?
This is a face.
You all wrote search warrants for social media accounts.
Yes.
All right. You all, as part of your investigation, collected numerous cell phones, items of digital evidence that had to be reviewed, correct?
Yes.
All right.
It's a shuttle.
And what kind of volume are we talking about here? I mean, how much evidence were you all looking for?
If I remember closely, or excuse me, correctly, it was close to a terabyte of everything we collected.
And
well,
your
Nico, especially when the judge hangs out with him.
Continued up in time, and then on March the 6th, 2020, something happened, correct?
Yes.
And what was it that occurred on March the 6th?
We discovered the remains of Evelyn Boswell.
All right. And where were those located?
Okay. So you can't. This is the part that breaks away. This is the part that shoots up into the air. The shuttle itself, you can only see the tip of it. just the tip of it is right there. You can see it there. But this is the part that breaks away when it goes up. Damn it! You guys walked me right into that one.
At Tommy Boswell's property on Muddy Creek Road.
And was that a location that you all, based on your investigation, were able to tie specifically to the defendant, Megan Boswell?
Absolutely. The property itself is where the defendant used to live.
And was there anything of significance about the exact location that the body was found?
Yes.
Okay. What was that?
We found the remains inside of the building that was referred to by the family as the Playhouse. It was out behind what I would call a storage building on the property. And this Playhouse was built by defendant Megan's grandfather is a playhouse for her when she was a child.
This is such inappropriate time to be laughing. You guys. Oh my gosh. I'm going to just pause it for a second and get my composure back. He's talking about the playhouse. Okay, I have to do this first just cuz it's already there, and I'm not going to be able to let it go until I do it. So I'm just going to put it up here. Hold on. There you go. There's the face that Sleuthy sees on the fuel tank of the rocket ship, the space shuttle. There it is. To me, I thought he was happy. When I do see a face, I thought, oh yeah, he's happy. No, Sleuthy sees him, he's pissed off. Don't make me bring out the toe, Tiffany. Don't make me bring out the toe. Okay, I have to get all the inappropriateness out right this second because we got to go back to the serious stuff. It has 2 eyes. But she's got, like, he's mad. She sees him, he's really mad. I see him, he's like happy. He's like, ha 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 ha, with all of his little lines over here. Okay, back to business.
Now, after you all located the body, it was sent for an autopsy, is that right?
Yes.
Did you all collect other evidence there at the scene?
Yes.
Oh, there's like a
collecting that
shed.
evidence.
Hold on, I'll show you. There's like I don't know if I can zoom in on. I can probably do it if I pull up the actual picture of it. There's a shed, and then there's like a playhouse. So there's stuff that is found inside this shed apparently, but this trash can with the remains is inside this playhouse that's right next to the shed. Let me find the picture so I can actually try to zoom in. Is it this one? Might be this one. No, not that. We can use this one. Oh, this one's colored on, so I don't know if you can actually see it very well. Where the fudge is it? Is it that one? I'll do this one first since I already have it. Oh, it's up here already. Okay. And then this one. So there's like it's gonna get kind of blurry, but it should work. So you see like there's like a shed, and then there's like this playhouse, and then there's like the outbuilding here. You can't really, it gets really blurry, but there's 2 things here. You see what does that make sense? So it's like this playhouse area, looks like a cat dog. Okay, that's probably not the best picture, but it's right here. So I don't know the date of this, so I'm just going to put it out there because it's sometime that I know it's already happened by the time we're having this hearing. It's she has quote unquote confessed that she knew that Evelyn was dead and that Evelyn had died because she was sleeping in bed with her and Hunter, her boyfriend, and they had accidentally rolled over on her. and that's how she died. So that's one of the reports that she comes out with, is that she did know she was dead. So she starts confessing in little bits and pieces. Hunter comes forward and says, I've never even met Evelyn. I've never met her. I knew she existed, but I never met her. So that's why her story completely evolves over time.
It was sent off to have forensic examination done. Is that right?
Yes.
Performing all that testing takes a pretty good period of time. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. And while all that was going on, you then presented to the grand jury and had a presentment charging Megan Boswell with 11 counts of false report. Is that right?
Yes.
And that was done on May the 20th of 2020.
Yes.
Is that right? And Agent Gratz, I'm going to hand you another document asking if you can identify what three agencies you got.
Yes.
You recognize that?
Yes, it's a certified copy of the presentment from May the 20th of 2020.
All right. Judge, at this time, we would need to make that exhibit 2 to this hearing.
Judge, that's an important file.
All right.
I worry if I speed it up, because he does talk really slow, but I worry if I speed it up, it's going to still mess with it even more, that you guys won't understand.
Hey, Greg, once I guess it was several months later, you got the final autopsy report. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you also received results of the forensic testing that was done at TBI.
Is that too fast?
All right. And after that was completed, did you then re-present this matter to the Sullivan County Grand Jury?
Yes.
And that was done on August the 19th of 2020. Is that right?
That's correct.
And this time I'm going to hand you another document. I can identify that.
Yes, it's the certified copy of the presentment from August 19th.
All right. Judge, could I would move to make that exhibit number 3 to this hearing? Agent Gratz, that superseding presentment, that is the presentment that charges 2 counts of felony murder, the aggravated child abuse, aggravated child neglect, tampering with evidence, 12 counts of false report, abuse of the courts, and failure to report a death under suspicious circumstances. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, based on your investigation, which by the time August rolls around, has been going on for several months, correct?
Correct.
Were you able to determine when the defendant had begun telling this false information about where the victim was located?
Yes.
And what did you determine about that?
Based on everything we've collected, the first, time we found the defendant told the story that Evelyn was with Ethan was during the first week of December of 2019.
And what sorts of things told you this? What was the evidence you were looking at that gave you clues?
Text messages, witness statements.
So here he says the first time that they can tell that she was telling family members that Evelyn was with her dad, with Ethan Perry, was the first week of December. So that's interesting.
And so this was happening back in December of 2019.
Yes.
Right? So this was several months before law enforcement ever even got involved.
That's correct.
That's correct. If we could, Agent Gratz, I'm going to, could we pass exhibit number 3 back to him? What I'd like to do, if you could turn to count 6, which is the first false report count, what I'd like to do is kind of go through those and talk about the dates that they were made, who they were made to, and what the substance of that false report was.
This is the most important part.
We can kind of get that one read. We'll start with count 6. That was made on February the 18th of 2020. Statement made to Detective Tracy Perez with the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office. What was the false report related to that count?
was when the defendant, Megan Boswell, claimed that Evelyn was with Ethan Perry.
So it was a false statement relating to who had custody of the child.
Yes.
Now, if we could count 7, again, on February 18th of 2020, a statement made to Detectives Michelle Gillum and Tracy Brass, both with the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office. What was the false statement related to that case?
Because I believe this was later in the day or evening on the 18th, and this was concerning the lack of knowledge of the whereabouts of Evelyn and the efforts that had been taken to locate Evelyn.
So that would relate to false report of where the child was, correct? Count 8, again on February 18th, 2020, false statement reported to Steve Williams, detective with the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office. And what was the nature of that false report?
This was the statement where the defendant discussed Ethan Perry refusing to return text messages and voicemails regarding Evelyn.
So again, that's a false report regarding someone else having custody of Evelyn, correct?
Yes.
Count 9, another false report made on February 18th of 2020 to Captain Joey Strickler with the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office. What was the nature of that?
This was about the last physical contact she had with Evelyn and the lack of knowledge of the whereabouts of Evelyn.
Okay. So that one deals with more of the time frame when.
Last I had heard was that their theory was that she wanted to go and be with her boyfriend and she wanted to do other things and she didn't want to be a teen mom and that she just wanted her freedom. That's the essential of it.
She last had contact with the child, correct?
Yes.
Count 10, a report made on February the 19th to agents with the FBI, Jeff Land and Todd Wilcox. What was the nature of it?
Told you, Joanna.
This was her discussing her being Megan Boswell, the time frame in which she stated she gave Evelyn to Ethan Perry.
All right. Count 11, report made on February the 20th of 2020. Again, Captain Strickler with the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office. What was the nature of that report?
This is when the defendant stated when she last saw Evelyn was with Ethan Perry on December the 26th of 2019, and she had not contacted law enforcement on the advice of her mother, Angela.
All right, so Angela Boswell, to be clear on the record, that is Megan Boswell's mother, correct?
Yes.
So this report has to deal with 2 things. One, the time frame in which she claims she last saw the child, as well as implicating someone else in disappearance. And the fact that they cannot locate the child, correct?
Yes.
Count 12, another report made on February the 20th of 2020, to you as well as Detective Matt Price with the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office. What was the nature of that false report?
This was when the defendant stated her mother, Angela Boswell, had Evelyn Boswell.
Yeah. Well, they proved that the baby's not with Ethan Perry.
Someone else.
And now baby's got to be with her mom. And the reason she didn't tell anybody was because her mom threatened her.
Disappeared for a child. Correct?
Yes.
Count 13, again on February the 20th of 2020, report made to yourself as well as Detective Matt Price. What was the nature of that report?
This is when she stated that her mother, Angela Boswell, had Evelyn since mid-December, and that Angela refused to tell the defendant her location, Evelyn's location, and she didn't call the police because she was afraid, the defendant was afraid that Angela would harm Evelyn.
So again, she's given false information about the time frame in which she last saw the child, as well as implicated someone else having custody.
Correct.
Count 14, again on February 20th of 2020, statement made to you as well as Detective Matt Price. What was the nature of that false report?
This is when the defendant said her mother, Angela, had taken Evelyn and wouldn't return Evelyn to the defendant because she owed her money and would not return Evelyn until the money was paid.
So Angela Boswell's going to keep Evelyn until Megan Boswell pays her the money that she owes her. That's the new one.
Next day, on February the 21st of 2020, that statement being made to you as well as Detective Matt Price. What's the nature of that false report?
This was her discussing that, again, Angela had Evelyn at an unknown location, and the defendant had attempted to locate Evelyn, but she did not know where she was and didn't have any additional information.
And then the last two, count 16, false report made on February the 23rd of 2020. Statements being made to Agent Chris Wilhoit with the TBI. What's the nature of that false report?
This is when the defendant said that, again, Angela had Evelyn Boswell and had given Evelyn to an unknown or unnamed person. And that Evelyn was safe and would have a better life with this unknown person.
So this is yet another count where she has implicated someone else having custody of the child.
Yes.
Now,
Finally,
there's your silver
count
camper.
17, false report made on February the 25th of 2020 to Detective Jonathan Licklider, Ronnie Clemens, as well as Agent Brian Fraley with TBI. What was the nature of that false report?
This is when she did say she was aware that Evelyn was dead. However, she told the story that it resulted from either her or Hunter Wood rolling over the child while sleeping, but she did not know the location of Evelyn's body.
So this was her her attempt to explain, I guess, the fact that she was not responsible for the death of the child.
Yes.
So now there is no camper. The mom didn't take her, and now it's that Evelyn was killed because her and Hunter were sleeping in bed with Evelyn and rolled over on her.
So these false reports kind of cover a number of topics. She implicates others in the disappearance. She gave you all false information about who had the child, about where the child was. Is that right?
Yes.
And then ultimately she blames someone else for the child's death. Is that right?
Yes.
You had mentioned earlier a number of these false reports relate to giving information about the child being with Ethan Perry. Is that right?
Yes.
Did you see evidence during your investigation of her telling this false report?
No, Hunter says he never met Evelyn. Hunter, the boyfriend, Megan's boyfriend, says he never even met Evelyn. He knew that she existed, but he had never met her.
Yes. And where did you see that?
Text messages or Facebook messages, as well as witness statements.
And who were the people that she was telling this to?
The first statement we located was to an individual named Haley Sparrow, I believe.
Was this a friend? Someone? Was this a friend of Megan's?
They were classmates in school.
Did you make this statement to any family members?
Yes, it was the story she was telling to her family about why Evelyn was not present.
Okay. So the false information that she was telling you all in February, when you're doing this investigation, this was same false information that she'd been telling family and friends for several months, correct?
That's correct.
And again, this information that you're getting in the investigation, it's based upon your interviews with the defendant, Megan Boswell, right?
Yes.
So you're getting all of your information directly from her.
Yes.
Correct.
And you mentioned this evidence that you all found on your review of the social media and digital evidence. When did that begin? Were you able to figure out a time frame that she began to tell this false information to her friends?
Yes, around the first week of December 2019.
All right. And I know we've got a copy of the presentment into evidence. The offense date for when you believe that the child was murdered, that was early December of 2019, correct?
Yes.
So this would have been about the same time period that the child was killed.
Yes.
There you go. So he's stating on the stand that they do believe that Evelyn was killed closer to the beginning of December.
Now, you mentioned that you reviewed the social media evidence. In going through this, she had family and friends that she was talking to somewhat regularly during this time period, right?
Yes.
Was there discussion, talk about Evelyn at that time?
There was.
And despite all that, no one, none of her family, none of her friends,
I bet you're looking forward to Wednesday, Sleuthy.
made a report that Evelyn was missing or they had concern about her until that February 18th date, is that right?
That is correct.
All right. Do you know why that was?
I'm gonna object to
I'll sorry. Let me ask you this, Agent. After you reviewed this material, these text messages, social media posts, as well as the interviews that you conducted with various witnesses, did you reach a conclusion about how long the defendant had been telling this false information?
Yes, since around the first week of December.
First week of December.
And again, that was along the same lines as the time in which the child was last seen alive and I believe the child was murdered.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right. And as you kind of went through your investigation and learned that the information that she told you, as well as the information she was telling her family and friends, was not true, did you reach a conclusion about who was responsible for the child's death?
Yes.
Who was that?
The defendant, Evelyn Boswell.
Based on your training and experience as an investigator with TBI, did there appear to be common threads in regards to these false reports?
Yes.
What was that?
They seem
to deflect attention or suspicion away from the defendant, Evelyn Boswell.
And again,
Tiffany, I think he has dimples.
all this information was coming from the defendant, Megan Boswell, correct?
Yes.
That's all the questions that I have this time.
before we start this, in motion, defense wants counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Correct. Got 5 with count 18
Can't hear him.
Judge, I object. I mean, essentially our motion focuses on false reports, the general's. So basically, the motion for the court, the oral amendment, I said, the motion for the court is that you're asking counts 6 through 17. Those are the counts we have to concern with. Judge General has put on the proper protocol.
If you guys, if you would answer the questions that Mr. Schwartz has for you.
Judge, I don't have any questions. I see you graphed the testimony. It's all through essentially a proper, so the court can make a determination on this. So we're not going to no,
Okay, so that's the end of his testimony. They go back and forth on the rest of the motion because this was her defense attorney trying to separate all of the counts that have to do with Evelyn, the felony murder, the tampering with evidence, the abuse of the corpse, all of that. He wants it separated from the false statements, and he wants her to be tried separately, which doesn't happen. So. Okay, let's go back in here. We're getting close to where we need to be. There's a couple big testimonies that I need you guys to hear before trial. I don't know if this is actually. I don't think this is what I think this is just the most hearing.
One regarding photographs. So we need another motion that is not the June date.
Yeah, I don't think we need that one. So when her attorney files in September to be removed from the case, essentially stating that they're having a problem agreeing on what photos and to be used and what photos not to be used and how to go forward with her case. The judge comes back and says, hey, that's essentially not going to be enough. Like, just because you guys don't like each other doesn't mean that you're going to get a new attorney. Too bad. You have to stick around. By October, he changes his mind because Megan won't cooperate with her attorney anymore, and he's like, I don't know how to move forward and represent her when we can't even discuss the case. I will not be an effective attorney if she won't talk to me. So the judge ends up in October of 2022 saying, okay, fine, we'll get her a new attorney. They were supposed to be going to trial coming up here. So judge didn't want to have to wait it out. He wanted them just to suck it up. But it was obviously the right choice in the long run, because if he was going to be ineffective counsel, she's going to file an appeal on it, right?
The
Friday hearing.
Represented. Ansley Daniel was in court Friday when it happened. She spoke with the public defender today, who said the judge was simply following the law.
And it turns out this could throw a big wrench in the plans for a trial early next year. Ansley?
Well, Josh and Sarah, Megan Boswell's trial was actually supposed to start today, but a delay in getting evidence back from the TBI crime lab pushed it back.
Just gonna pause this real quick, because if you guys want to talk about a journalist, like an actual news journalist, Ansley Daniels is one of the best that I've ever watched. I just want to put that out there. So if you don't follow her on Twitter and follow her on Facebook, she has her own page. She's literally one of the best. And with all the cases out of Tennessee, I mean, she just does an amazing job. She always has. So just want to follow her on anything that you can.
To February of next year. If the judge ends up granting that request for a new attorney, one of the public defenders I spoke with today said this could delay her trial an entire year.
I can't go into all the details. I don't want to give up on the plan for my defense, but there are witnesses and things that I feel like need to be done that we're having evidence on.
Megan Boswell got a strong no when asking for a new attorney during Friday's motions hearing to decide which pictures will be used in trial.
What it sounds like is, well, he didn't get a good enough plea deal, or he thinks I should plead, I want to go to trial. You know, those are not valid reasons to fire him.
Brad Sproles has been her appointed attorney since the beginning.
Our relationship was deteriorating to the point where we might be able to effectively repair the concerns moving forward. If we can't work together to repair the nation here.
He told News Channel 11 their issues sent court into recess so she could see the photos being described in testimony for the first time.
We had to take a break, you know, because of some of the things that I mentioned, that we have just not been on the same page as far as preparing for today's hearing.
The judge's answer could change, though, if Sproles feels like he can't effectively represent her.
If something happens and the trial doesn't go the way Ms. Boswell wants it to go, you know, there's always the possibility that some higher court could say, Mr. Sproles should have been relieved from this case and a new attorney appointed, and we're going to give her a new trial.
The public defender's office couldn't take the case because some of their clients are witnesses.
I mean, the ethics rules say that unless the attorney-client relationship is irretrievably broken, then the attorney stays in. I think the judge followed the law and did what he should have done.
Gibbons says Sproles could have used Friday as an out.
You know, there's no upside for a defense attorney to be involved in a case of this magnitude. If you win, you're a monster because you represented somebody who the public is convinced is guilty. If you lose, you're an idiot. You know, you've got...
Isn't that the truth? When I listened to this, when I was putting it on here, it made me think of another case that we follow quite closely. If you win, you're a monster because everybody thinks the person's guilty. And if you lose, you're an idiot.
Pundits on television critiquing every move you make. And, you know, that's a harsh light to shine on an attorney, you know, who is very capable, very intelligent, very experienced.
That's a good point. Ansley, what happens if a new attorney is appointed?
Well, there are a couple of different things because all of the evidence, which we know is a lot in this case, will have to be turned over to that new attorney, and that new attorney will then have to start from scratch. Well, Gibbons told me today that alone, along with the backlog currently happening in the court system, could delay this trial at least another year. But on the good news side, that at least this evidence will already be ready. They don't have to be waiting on the crime lab like we did beforehand. And it's unlikely the court is going to revisit what's already been ruled on unless there is new evidence presented.
All right. Ansley Daniel with the late update on this. Ansley, thank you very much.
All right. So this is... wait, did I skip over the court hearing that I wanted to play? Did I put it in the wrong spot? No? Shit. Hold, please. There's a hearing that I need you guys to hear, and I don't know what slide it's on, but I will find it. This might be enough. Let me do this. Okay, so this is in September of 2022. Let me see if you guys can hear this. This is an important testimony. Trigger warning for anybody who is sensitive to anything like this. So he's going to talk more about what they found when they found Evelyn.
Please state your name.
Brian Fraley,
And where are you employed?
Tennessee Bureau of Investigation.
What is your
Come on. That volume is shit. Hold on. This is September. September 2022. Where is it? This one sucks.
Special Agent Criminal Investigator,
And how long have you been in that position?
16 years.
As part of your
Hold on, I'm trying to find a better audio.
did you assist in an investigation into the disappearance of Evelyn Boswell in February of 2020?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
What was your role in that investigation?
The Sullivan County Sheriff's Department called TBI requesting assistance.
Yeah, it's the worst, and it's like one of the most important things you guys need to hear, and it's like one of the worst audios there is. So this should be September of 2022. So if you guys happen to find it, send it to me. I can't believe it's on that freaking thing. Where is it? Stop doing that. No, that was June. I don't know what I did with it. It should be right in here. Dang it. I'm looking. Hold, just give me a second. No way that... Is this the right one? Nope, that's not it. It's September 2022. It's not this one. Did I just date it wrong? No. Nope. What in the actual fudge? WCYB Channel 5 will be streaming the trial. Yeah, okay. I hope the audio is good, but Court TV is supposed to be streaming it too. Let me see if I can. If I can turn on closed captioning.
Simply to help locate the missing person report, which was
I don't know if it'll let me.
Miss Boswell. Myself and other agents responded to assist with them.
As part of that investigation, did you interview the
It
defendant
won't.
on February 25th, 2020?
Yes, ma'am.
And during that interview, did the defendant tell you that Evelyn was dead?
Yes.
Let me see if I can find it this way. Maybe I'll look it up under his name. His name is Agent Brian Fraley. Brian Fraley. Look it up under him instead of her. No. I can't believe all you sleuths haven't found it yet. I don't know what to do because like this is like the most important one you guys need to hear. Like the sound is shit. Let me see if I just go to this is ridiculous. It's like September 23rd, September 22nd, September 23rd, 2022.
It was an accidental death, that she and her boyfriend at the time were sleeping in the bed with her. And when they woke up that morning, that she was unresponsive and opined that it was.
See if this helps at all.
That she had been smoked. Not sleeping on her during the night.
And on March 6, 2020, did you find that those remains?
Yes, ma'am.
Please describe and report how that came to be.
On that date.
Any better? Can you hear it any better?
The defendant's father, talking about.
Can you hear it any better at all? All right, the second one, I'm still live. So he does. He says in here, you know what? There's an article. We'll just read the article instead of going through it that way. I'll just read you the article because I can't find it. I can't find the actual link besides this one, and this one the sound is shit. So he is involved. He's the one that Megan had originally told that her and Hunter were sleeping and they rolled over on Evelyn, and that's how she passed away. So, special agent from the TBI described the events leading up to the discovery of 15-month-old Evelyn Boswell's body on the family member's property. Agent Brian Fraley took the stand September 23rd. It is the 23rd hearing to discuss the use of certain photos as evidence and revealed that Megan Boswell's father had requested the agency search in a storage structure on the property. We received a call from the defendant's father talking about property, a storage shed on the property. He believed it may have been valuable to us to look in it and search, so we did respond and search that. And there was a playhouse behind that. We found the body in that playhouse in the trash can. Fraley said that the body he found matched the description of Evelyn, who had been described as wearing a purple fleece onesie with penguins on it and wrapped in a gray and white blanket. He said he discovered Evelyn's body in a black trash bag after removing layers of several other trash bags from the playhouse. He said, I observed a leg and a foot attached on top of this trash wrapped in that same described fleece blanket. It was consistent with an infant of the described age of the missing victim. He estimated that an hour passed before a doctor arrived on the scene. During that time, he said multiple other agencies and law enforcement arrived due to the significance of the case. The chief medical examiner said that autopsy pictures of Evelyn's body showed active decomposition that had been occurring in a confined space. The forensic pathologist testified that Evelyn's body had been unnaturally folded, and other photographs showed her body had been wrapped so tightly that her facial features flattened. Pathologist said that pictures will help the jury determine if the death was accidental or intentional. She said the jurors should see how tightly Evelyn had been wrapped in a blanket and foil. Revealed that Evelyn's cause of death was asphyxiation. Said that Megan Boswell told investigators Evelyn had died when co-sleeping with Megan and her boyfriend. She claimed that it was an accidental death, that she and her boyfriend at the time were sleeping in bed with Evelyn, and when they woke up that morning, she was unresponsive, that she had been smothered. His entire testimony, they don't even have his entire testimony in here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to link this. I'm going to link this article in the chat, and I'll link the article in the description of the video so you guys can go and listen with your own device, because obviously I can't get the volume to come up for whatever reason, because that's one of the most important testimonies that there is to date. Previous testimony from TBI agents unveiled that Megan had told authorities that she knew Megan was dead a week before her body was discovered. At Friday's hearing, Megan requested to part ways with her defense attorney, Brad Sproles. Megan Boswell faced a slew of charges, including 2 counts of felony murder, aggravated child abuse, aggravated child neglect, tampering with evidence, abusing a corp, and several counts of false reporting. Her trial was originally set for September 16th. It got pushed to February 6th of 2023, which we know that doesn't happen because he does end up giving her a new. Tammy, I think this is the same one. This is the one I can't get to play. The volume sucks. It's the same. Yeah, that's the same one. I can't get the volume loud enough for anybody to actually be able to hear it. So, like I said, I put it in the chat. You guys can listen to it. It's an important testimony leading up to the trial, where they do go over that how she was upside down. I don't know why I can't find this one when I had it linked. It's from September 23rd of 2022. And I had the hearing linked, and I cannot get it for whatever reason. I don't know why. So that's just his testimony. It doesn't have the testimony of the others. But important to listen to. And we're going to hear it at trial anyway, but going into it. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know why. So that's this hearing, but the whole hearing. Anyway, so judge does end up saying, okay, yes, you're right. This whole thing with counsel is not going to work out. So we're going to get you a new attorney, and we'll go from there. And his name is Sparks. Sparks? I think his name is Sparks. Now I'm all thrown off. Yeah, it's the same one, Tammy, unfortunately. It's that one that I can't get the sound to go on. Yeah. So now we have the new attorney, and she goes back to court. I'm just doing this one real quick so you guys can see him. This is the new attorney.
All right. I know one thing we were set today is for the court to finalize its order on the defendant's motion to sever. I've done that, filed that this morning.
Yes, sir.
What else are we taking?
There's nothing else to take up today. I think it's something with Mr. Sproles had filed a change of venue motion. So forth, we're going to need to address that. I think that's the.
Okay. So that's the new attorney. I want to say his last name is Sparks, but I cannot think of it off the top of my head right this second. Somebody in chat will probably be able to tell you. But this hearing is where they ask for the change of venue or to have the jury brought in with change of veneer. Judge just says we're going to pick the jury and we're going to sequester them, and that's just how it's going to be. The trial is going to last approximately 2 to 4 weeks, so the jurors will be sequestered for the 2 to 4 weeks. They are also talking about that last motion her other defense attorney had put in about trying to sever the charges based on the lying and anything to do with Evelyn's remains, which judge denies. So now this one is a big deal because all of a sudden, remember, she was already supposed to have gone to trial multiple times. And title, grim details. CH can, okay, let me see. Title is grim details at Megan Boswell hearing. Let me see it. I'll look real quick. Grim details, Megan Boswell. Why does that not pop up? Oh, I do see it here. Oh, it's Michelle Walks' channel. It's the same as Michelle After Dark. This is her other channel. Okay, this might be good. I'm just gonna share this. Love her. Volume is not much better. Yeah, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna share this, and that way you guys can watch the entire hearing because it's got all the testimonies that are about Evelyn. So you guys can watch that on your own. Maybe we can watch the whole thing together, but the volume is still not very good. So maybe I'll have to download it. Maybe we'll watch it mañana. We'll see. Okay. But this is, so now remember she was already supposed to have gone to trial multiple times, but now in June of 2024, so this last year, they popped her with a first-degree murder charge. Because remember, she only had felony murders, and she had abuse of a corpse, tampering with evidence, and all of those things. But now they're popping her with the actual first-degree murder. The prosecutor prior to this had come forward and said that he was not going to pursue the death penalty. They were just pursuing life in prison without the possibility of parole.
I think we were here today to change, argue, or have a hearing on change of denier. And through some emails that the court was privy to yesterday.
Judge, I want to ask for more time. I conveyed that to Mr. Harper yesterday. There's some additional things I want to do on the changes in our motion. I recognize that we need to do that probably sooner rather than later. Should that be granted, it will take some time to logistically set everything. If the court denies that, there's likely to be a separate motion to sequester the jury. If we do pick Sullivan County jury, I'll be asking that the jury be sequestered. I think Ms. Boswell needs to be arraigned as well when you present it to the grand jury.
There was a brief presented the case on May 27th, 2024. She later entered not guilty.
She does, Judge.
Tell me what things are that we need to do, or you need to do for the denial motion.
There's additional, there's proof I want to bring forward beyond the scope of the jury questionnaires. We haven't done that yet. My investigator, Mr. Templeton, and I were talking about that earlier today. We think we can pinpoint the amount of new.
His name is Scott, Gene Scott. I knew it started with an S. I was saying the wrong one. Gene Scott is this attorney's name.
Coverage here as it relates to this case as opposed to other areas in the state, and I think that's something that's important that we want to do. And also, we have not filed any affidavits at this point from anyone here in the county, and I want to explore that option as well.
No, you're
Sorry, I think that's the end of that one. Okay, so as everybody knows, jury selection was set to begin today, and here is the update from today.
Jury selection has begun in the trial of a Sullivan County woman accused of killing her 15-month-old daughter. Evelyn Boswell faces several charges in the death of her daughter, Evelyn. That includes 1 count of first-degree murder and 2 counts of felony murder. Evelyn's remains were found on a family member's property in March of 2020 after an Amber Alert was issued the month before. A grand jury indicted Boswell on 19 charges later that year. She was later indicted on the first-degree murder charge in June of last year. News Channel 11's Ansley Daniel has been in the courtroom as prosecutors and Boswell's defense attempt to seat a jury for the Sullivan County trial. Ansley?
Hey, Sarah, it's been a long day here at the Sullivan County Justice Center in Blountville as prosecutors and the defense have gone over about 40 people so far trying to seat a jury for this trial. They started around 9 o'clock this morning and just wrapped up a little after 5 o'clock. So far, 17 people have been picked. 10 female and 7 male so far on this potential jury. Now, what's taking so long is that the defense and prosecutors are both almost cross-examining these folks individually. Each time takes between 5 and 20 minutes as they go over their responses to that 17-part questionnaire that was sent to them back in December, as well as a few other questions about the potential for being sequestered and what that's going to do for them and their personal lives. Now, that's another big topic here, is that they have not sequestered a jury in more than, a decade here in Sullivan County. So it is a big deal, and the judge and both sides are making sure that that's not going to cause any issues with the potential jurors when it comes to making their decisions. We're told that they're going to be in a hotel for up to 3 weeks, the duration of this trial. They won't have any access to their phones. They won't have much access to television and things of that nature. So again, they're making sure that that's okay for their family lives, their personal lives, and their jobs. Now, court is in recess until tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning. We're told that they're going to just continue going over jurors until they feel like they have a jury selected. Sarah?
Ansley Daniel reporting live in Sullivan County tonight. Ansley, thanks. And we will be following this.
All right, you guys. So then that just brings us to where we're at currently. I found that hearing. The sound is terrible. I found the actual hearing. The sound is terrible. I'm going to download it if we can, since they're doing jury selection tomorrow. We may just do one full of that entire hearing, because it's about an hour, and as much as I talk, it would be a couple hours. So I'm going to download it and then try to fix the volume so that maybe we can watch that tomorrow together. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I don't know if I can fix it, so I don't want to make promises that I can't keep, but they have potential jurors, so that what they're doing is they're actually putting, they're creating a pool of potential jurors, and then they'll go through and then they'll dismiss out of those and keep their 12 plus. I think they're going with 6 alternates, but don't quote me on that. So they have 17 right now potential jurors. So, and she's so freaking cute. Look at her little face. See what pinch her little cheekies. She's such a little cutie. Such a little cutie. So ridiculous. So, yeah, they're looking at right now. Everything that I'm reading says that they're thinking opening statements and everything is coming Thursday the 6th. That obviously can change based on the fact that they have to pick the jurors. Still, they're not done picking jurors. They're giving them 24 hours to get their shit together to be sequestered for 2 to 4 weeks. So, hey, Percocet. But that's where we're at with this. And thank you guys for being here and listening to everything about baby Evelyn. And she's such a cutie pie. I followed this case when she went missing. I was following this case. So it's like, it's surreal that we're finally at a point where we're going to see everything that they have against Megan Boswell, Megan, quote unquote, Maggie Boswell, and if they're going to end up with more charges on anybody else. And what the jury is going to say. So, and I'm thankful that we actually have a trial that we get to actually watch. You know, those are rare nowadays. Seems to be rare. We get all these rapper trials, and everybody wants to like stream about all the protests in LA. Other than that, you know, I don't know. I'm ready to see justice. I have my concerns on what the defense attorney is going to do when it comes to this family and how much they're going to try to get the jury to buy into that somebody else in the family did this. But we'll see. We'll see. Yes, thank you guys. And it was so nice to see like people who aren't just Delphi people. There's so many other people came in too, and so many Delphi people, or people that follow the channel during the Delphi case. But I mean, there's a lot of people who stopped in that I haven't seen for a long time, and I love you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for caring about baby Evelyn. So hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. We can do that if I can get that downloaded and fixed. Love you too, Gam. But go enjoy the rest of your evening. I know it's really late for some of you, and I will see you guys mañana. And as always, I know you guys have 1,000 other places that you could spend your time, and yet you choose to spend your time here with me. And I can't thank you enough. Have a good
Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown. Down the rabbit hole. Where it stops, no